It worked. We are live. Surprise, ladies and gentlemen. This is a exclusive here on the Bottom Line podcast. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, Jimmy Fedezzi, Neil Villapiano with you. We hope you are doing well. As you can see, we have a very, very special guest, but we decided to go live because we wanted this to be an exclusive conversation for you. So, as you can see, we have our dear friend, Jackie DiPasquale, back with us for a third time, a.k.a. Miss Garden State International 2021, fresh off of her campaign as Miss New Jersey International 2020. Jackie, first of all, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming back on. How the heck is everything with you?
Everything's been going great. It's so great to see you guys too. I'm just so excited to be able to do my first in-person appearance as Miss Garden State. And also as New Jersey has been progressively lifting its COVID-19 restrictions. It's so exciting to be able to do my very first in-person appearance this year alone.
100%. Absolutely. I couldn't be happier. New Jersey is certainly making strides with COVID restrictions and everything. It really is very fortunate. So
we just got news
thank
today.
God for that.
Starting the 28th, I think most places, like they're lifting
the mask mandate.
Yeah.
And most indoor facilities. Yes.
Most indoor facilities. Yeah.
Yeah, the social distancing.
Yeah, that too.
Restrictions.
Yeah, which is fantastic news. So, Jackie, again, it's really great to see you. Thank you so much. But Neil, I gotta ask you, how's everything with you, man?
Everything was fine until I had to come see you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm good. I'm doing well.
I see how it is.
I think it's been about 2 months since the last time we did anything in person.
I think you're right. Yes,
I did come to your house one time to do an episode, but no, I'm doing well. Continuing to do stuff for Double State of Mind. It's a little bit more quiet now because we're into the off season and there isn't a whole lot going on. But I'm doing other things, trying to stay busy, working on. I've been doing a lot of meditating. Shout out to Calm because they've been an absolute lifesaver to me.
Oh, great app.
That app is amazing.
It's a great app for anybody who is struggling with their mental health or their sleep habits as well.
Sleep stories are unreal.
I have several friends who are therapists or work in the social work field. And they say that Calm has been such an outstanding app during this pandemic. So I highly recommend it.
They have a lot of different celebrities that have done partnerships with them. LeBron James, Harry Styles, Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh gosh,
just different people. Scottie Pippen actually did a sleep story one time. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different people, and it's just a wonderful app. And I would highly recommend it. I think it's about $70 a year, which is honestly, to me,
it's not terrible.
I think it's actually a bargain, to be honest with you. So if you guys are interested in trying meditation, which look, it took me a long time to kind of get into it, basically.
Right.
I promise you that you will enjoy it. And they always ask for people to give suggestions, different guests, different people, and I've thrown out a couple myself, and it's been a wonderful thing. And also, I've been working on my physical health thanks to you. I'm really tired because I did a workout before I got here. So if I don't have much to say tonight, it's because of that.
It's all right.
And other than that, I'm actually starting to write my third book.
Nice.
I'm in the process of doing it now. I'm not going to reveal any details to that yet.
Congratulations.
So starting that, and other than that, I'm just I'm cruising, man. I'm really cruising.
I think we all are.
I'm chilling like a Roman villain, as my dad would say. So I'm good.
Okay. Interesting, but we'll take it. By the way, we are also live on Jackie's Instagram page at Miss Garden State International 2021. Please, we encourage you, go give her a follow and please subscribe to her podcast, 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed. It is an absolutely tremendous podcast. Andrew, I see you out there, my man. How you doing? Thanks for watching.
And just to add, Jimmy, I'm sorry to interrupt
you.
No,
please.
My Instagram account is Miss Garden State INTL.
Okay.
2021.
My apologies.
It's no problem at all. So international is abbreviated. So once again, Miss Garden State INTL 2021. Okay. Please give me a follow and check out my Instagram live.
Yes, absolutely. And again, thank you to everybody in advance who is watching on her Instagram page and to everybody who's watching on YouTube and Twitter. Thank you very much as well. So with all that being said, let's jump right into it. So first of all, Jackie, we got to ask you this. Just catch up our viewers and listeners on what you've been up to get yourself prepared for Miss International coming up in July in Tennessee.
I have been doing several weeks of training, which has been super exciting. I've been training with my coach, Jillian Spano, who owns Next Page Productions. So shout out to her. I hope she's on my Instagram live right now. I love her so much. I actually just had a session with her on Saturday, and then I have another one with her tomorrow night.
Nice.
She has been teaching me all the ins and outs of appropriately interviewing. And you would think with interviewing skills that it's just about speaking well and being professional. But there's so much more to that, especially within pageantry.
Right.
Because it goes into your tone of voice or your facial expressions, and even making sure to use your hands enough, but not too much where you're talking like this. And this is how I normally talk. I'm 50% Italian. So
when you're Italian.
I normally
Yes.
talk like this.
That.
Yes.
But I know.
You tend to do that when you're an Italian.
Yes.
It's a common thing.
Yes,
It's a
exactly.
Very common thing.
Yes, but when
man.
pageant Jacqueline is on, I know to be much more careful with my hands.
Yes.
And
It's all right.
Yes. And then
I couldn't do that. I would just be too fidgety. I'd be way too fidgety.
It takes a lot of practice. I've been training with Jillian for the past few years, and she's so wonderful. And then with my walking sessions with her, I have a few different portions of competition, not just interview, but also evening gown,
Right.
fun fashion, and fitness. And then if I do have the honor of making the semifinals at the Miss International Pageant, then I'll also have an onstage question in which I will present a 30-second platform speech and then answer a question about a current event.
Wow. That's really amazing
And you don't
stuff.
know the question up front, or do you?
No, you do not.
It's just kind of like,
the only thing that I do know, and I really commemorate the international pageant system for doing this, they actually do not ask political questions at all, which
I
really do think is wonderful that they do that, because just because sometimes when you get a little bit too much into politics, then everybody's going to be biased one way or another. And one thing that I think is so true about when you choose the right pageant queen to represent your system, you want to choose someone who's going to answer the question well. And it's more so about how they answer the question versus what they're answering.
Right.
okay.
We should all be encouraged to speak our opinions, of course, and be honest, but then at the same time understand another's point of view. So again, it really just boils down to how you answer the question.
No, I'm 100% with you on that. You're 100% right. And by the way, Andrew does say best of luck with everything that you do, Jackie. Thank you for that, Andrew.
Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
Andrew, I promise you we will talk about Julio Jones. I promise you. We will talk about it.
He's great.
Unbelievable stuff.
He will ask me later on. He'll be like, are you going to talk about Julio Jones?
Yeah, no, we already know he's going to ask about that. But we'll get to that later on. Don't worry. We're going to be talking some football with this one over here, because I got a fun idea that we're going to do later on. But anyway,
I already know what it is, and trust me, it's going to be really interesting.
To say the least, especially for my pageant followers out there.
Yes.
Mind you, they don't even start training camp till August.
Yes, that is true.
Understand where we're coming from.
Exactly. But anyway, though, so now during your time as Miss New Jersey International, did you have a specific event or a certain moment that really, really stood out to you?
I have two different events / moments. So the first was a really special episode on my podcast, 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed. And I had interviewed my friend Ava Marvel. Shout out to her if you're on the Instagram Live.
Okay.
She provided such a wonderful episode about how being bullied led her to attempt suicide just a couple of days before her 17th birthday. So instead of getting her driver's license on her 17th birthday, she actually spent it in a psych ward. And it was such a gut-wrenching, I still have chills talking about just this incredible story of of power, of strength, and showing raw truth. And really, that episode for me is the epitome of what my podcast means, that I want victims of bullying to show their raw truth, because with my platform, that's all I'm doing for myself, is showing my raw truth. So then any other victims of bullying can relate to me and can relate to anybody else who's featured on my podcast 100%. And can be brave and courageous enough to share their own stories too. Because I really do believe that if we want effects with laws for anti-bullying to work on a federal level in the United States, we need more people to share their stories. There are so many things you can do. I know there are some great federal laws out there that protect children with disabilities in school and also children of various races, various backgrounds, which I think is really wonderful. But I do see that there aren't enough laws covering cyberbullying, for example, where it really depends on the circumstances, if you're in school, if you're out of school, things of that nature. So that episode, back to Ava's story, that just really epitomizes what my podcast is all about.
Yes.
And the one other really cool thing about that episode, one of our mutual friends, mine and Ava's friend, I'm sorry, Sam, had listened in on this episode. And because of her listening to that episode, Sam and Ava actually rekindled their friendship, which it was amazing. I actually started crying when Sam had texted me and told me about that, because again, it just goes to show that's what my podcast is about. And that's all I've said since day one, starting this podcast back in late 2019, is that I just want to impact one person per episode. If I can do that, I am the happiest person alive. That's all I want.
And you're definitely doing a heck of a job with it. It's an awesome podcast. It's awesome what you're doing. And I do have another question about that. And Neil, if you have a question after that, please feel free to go ahead. I was going to actually ask what your favorite episode was with the podcast, but you pretty much just answered that.
Yes.
Do you have like another particular episode that you just absolutely love to do for that podcast?
Yes. So our friends, a couple of our close friends, Jimmy and I, Rishi and Tyler, I had interviewed them a while back, and that was such a fascinating perspective on bullying. And it was because both Rishi and Tyler were bullied. They attended the same school together. Rishi was bullied in his elementary school years prior to moving to Tyler's school.
Yes.
And as a result, Rishi himself actually became a bully and bullied Tyler for a little bit. And then when they were in about 10th grade, they started playing video games together remotely over Xbox. And they started forming this really cool group of friends. By senior year, they became friends. And to this day, they are brothers. Wow. And it's so cool to see how a bully was able to realize his behaviors and know that his behaviors were coming from the hurt that he was feeling in his heart from being bullied himself. And how he was able to not only forgive himself, but that Tyler was able to do that too.
Right.
That is so powerful right there. And that is such an important part of a victim of bullying's journey to healing, is to be able to forgive, whether or not the bully apologizes to you. That is so powerful. I know in my personal case, I actually have had people who have bullied me apologize to me years later. And I have to tell you, that just helped me take such large leaps towards my own personal journey of healing. But there's a lot of my bullies out there who haven't apologized. And of course, when I was younger, that was really a really hard concept for me to accept. But now that I'm 28 years old, and I would like to say I'm about 10 years out from the last experience of me being bullied. I'm sorry, actually a little bit less than 10 years. I realize now I don't need that. I don't need anybody to apologize to me. And I hope that I can teach victims of bullying that they don't need to receive that apology, because having that ability to forgive, that's not going to just help you in your own journey to healing, but that's going to help you in the future. If if you have an instance of workplace bullying or even when you eventually get married and God forbid there's relationship abuse, or even your kids and they turn into teenagers and they start talking back at you like every teenager does in the world. Forgiveness is such an incredible quality to have.
Right.
And it can sometimes take a lifetime to find that.
Yeah, no,
really and truly.
I definitely feel you on that one. That's a good answer. Before Neil gets to his question, just a couple of shout outs here. Thank you to everybody who is watching on Jackie's Instagram at Miss Garden State INTL 2021. We have Gracie Lou 95 Bravo watching.
Oh, hi, Ben.
Sharon D _style watching.
Oh, that's awesome. Hi, Sharon. Thank you so much for watching.
Miss Love Without Limits is watching as well.
Hello. She is competing in Miss Delaware USA right now. Congratulations to you, girl. I'm so excited for you.
Good luck. Congratulations. And also Dan99WYN is also
watching. Hi, Dan.
Dan.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Neil, if you had a question, please feel free to go ahead.
I guess I have like two. What is about pageants, and the other one is about, your podcast and everything. My first question is, I actually know somebody that was in pageants. She was Miss New Jersey back in 2019. Her name is Jade Glab. I don't know if she's watching on here.
Oh, she sounds familiar.
I went to high school with her.
Okay.
So I've actually, not that I have any experience watching pageantry or anything, but it's just, my question is simply this, where does the passion come from when it comes to wanting to do that? Because from a lot of people I've spoken with, I feel like people who do pageants get a bad rep sometimes because of, especially the shows that you see on TV, something in tiaras, I think it was called, toddlers in tiaras.
Yes,
toddlers in
tiaras.
And I feel with television, with everything, I think they overblow everything. Yes. Can you talk to us about how can we get rid of I guess what I would say the stigma of things like that, and how we can better, talk about the importance of things like this?
Absolutely. So one thing, the first thing that I would mention about pageantry is that it's all about having representation from women of all walks of life. I think that's one thing that will really help to remove the stigma.
Right.
If I look at, let's say, myself, for example, I kind of describe myself as this girl next door from a small beach town. I was raised as Christian. My dad is a doctor of chiropractic, so I have this huge background in sciences. I almost actually pursued that as a career. I originally wanted to be a genetic psychologist. And then I kind of found my way into communications with a concentration in radio and television, just completely fell in love with it.
There you go.
And
didn't we all?
Yes. And then also I fell in love with technology at a very young age. I remember being as young as 3 years old, playing on my dad's laptop, creating all different kinds of really cool graphic designs with this program. It's a very old program, and I'm going to give major brownie points to anybody out there who knows this. It's called Printmaster.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Very, very old program.
Talk about old school. My goodness.
And I loved Kid Pix too. I played that in school.
That one I actually never heard of.
Kid Pix was very fun too. So having someone like me, or again, Crystal Danza, who talks about body image, and it's so incredible. If you have those different backgrounds there, another shout out to Shanoa Blount. She won Miss New Jersey, United States back in 2018. Wow. She has her own nonprofit that she created in honor of her mother, who passed away when she was very little. And it's so incredible. So if you have representation from all different backgrounds, that is one of the things that's going to really help remove the stigma of pageantry. And the other 100%. Thing too is that I love the movement that pageantry in general has been kind of moving towards. And there's so many different kinds of systems out there, not just the international pageants system, but in general with pageantry, we're noticing that there's this there's more of an embrace for natural beauty, that you don't have to get so glammed up and put fake eyelashes on all the time and constantly curl your hair, do this and that. And I think that that's the one thing that's so wonderful about pageantry, because again, it kind of aligns with my podcast, being able to show off your raw truth.
Right.
And and just show up as authentically yourself.
Yeah.
And I love that pageantry encourages that. And I do foresee it going in that direction in future years. And I think that as we continue to go in that direction, that it will lower the stigma of that. The other thing to add to it too is that for me, why I started pageantry, it was actually through the encouragement of my grandmother. And I call her Grammy. A lot of my pageant followers know about my Grammy. It was just her birthday on May 20th. And then also my mom, Laura, who many of my followers know as well. It was their encouragement that I started to compete in pageantry. But it wasn't only that. Yeah. It was because I remember being in my sophomore year of college when I competed in my very first pageant, and I've only competed in 3 at this point. So not many. And I started very late in life, but pageantry has given me so much self-confidence and faith in myself too. Because I remember first starting college and I really didn't have faith in myself because for most of my life, I was teased for my long hair or I've always been a very petite person. I was also teased for being very well accomplished in school. I was in the top 10 for my graduating class in high school. I received every single award you could think of. Well, that kind of sounds a little bit dramatic, not every single award, but a decent amount. I was student council president, key club vice president, and then also I was very shy too. Right. Now it's kind of funny because I just can't stop talking. But growing up, I was very shy too. So pageantry has really helped me to embrace myself for who I am. And the other thing too is that pageantry is all about celebrating you and your accomplishments and your goals. And I think that that's just so incredibly special. And I know when I become a mom in the future that I would love to put hopefully if I have a daughter, my future daughter in pageants. But of course I would wait until she makes her own decision in order to do that and not enter in too young. But I just think that it's such a wonderful avenue to express myself. And I really do wish that I started pageantry earlier in life. Because I think it would have helped me along my healing journey earlier on in my life.
100%.
Yeah, no, my other question was simply this. With everybody who has experienced bullying, they've experienced it in different ways and for different reasons. I mean, for myself, I had the displeasure of being bullied in not 1 high school, but in 2. And that was a very difficult thing. And for me, it was just simply that I had to defend myself physically. And I'm not a physical person. I do not like to be physical, but when push comes to shove, you have no choice. One of the difficulties that is even to this day still very difficult for me to understand is simply that it wasn't just people my age, not defending me. It was adults not doing the right thing and just eventually just deciding mentally, okay, well, it must be that person's fault that they are being bullied. My question is simply this, and this is somewhat of a difficult, I've asked a lot of people this question. It's a very difficult question for some people to answer. It's simply this. Where does this come from, this decision in people's minds to attack somebody for a lot of the time, no legitimate reason? Where does it come from? Does it start at home? Does it start with just how they grow up? Is it listening to social cues and dealing with peer pressure? Where does it come from? Because it's amazing how the people that usually get bullied are the ones that are the kindest, the people that care so much about others, and the people that will go beyond the call of duty to do the right thing for not only themselves, but other people. So obviously it's long-winded, but the question really is simply, where does it come from, and what can adults, forget about children. The real question is, what can adults, parents, like legit parents, what can they do to prevent this from happening? Because I think God bless all of the, charities and programs that have been created in this world for bullying. I personally believe that it's just not enough because I think it starts at home.
Yes.
What can people do to change that? What can these parents do? Because if their parents are like this, if the kid is like this, there is always the chance that the parent was like that.
Yes.
I don't mean to be cruel in saying that. I've noticed that as I've grown as a person.
It is a pattern. It is a pattern that you do see, that a high majority of the time when a child is bullying his or her classmates in school, it really boils down to what is being taught at home.
Right.
It can also be that one parent is abusing the other parent, whether it's mental or physical.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the child is taking social cues from that, and then therefore kind of putting that towards their classmates. The other thing too is that the child himself or herself could be abused at home, and then so he or she releases that pain towards the other students. Kind of like how I mentioned about our friend Rishi earlier.
Yeah.
He was bullied by classmates, and that's another instance is when you're bullied by classmates, then you turn around and do the same as a means to express your pain. And that's what it boils down to, that if anybody is bullying anybody else, it's because you're expressing some sort of pain that you're feeling in your heart. And of course, you're doing it in a very unhealthy way.
Right.
And that's why, and that's one of the reasons why I created my platform and podcast, because I encourage victims of bullying to find healthful ways to heal.
Of course.
And one of the ways that I do that is I also bring on professionals from various fields to offer different tips. So a while back, I had done a wonderful episode with my fitness and nutrition sponsors, Revolutionize Nutrition. They are based in Manalapan, New Jersey. Shout out to them. They are wonderful. Randy and Michelle Frankel, the two owners, husband and wife, they are amazing people. They did such a great episode on nutrition. And the reason why I chose the topic of nutrition is because there's not really too much research out there, not enough faith in the connection between nutrition and your mental health, but there really is quite a significant connection with that. That with what you eat really does affect the chemicals in your brain. It is scientifically proven that it helps with your anxiety. If you have anxiety problems, I know I personally suffer from that. Or if you have depression, it really helps with that as well. So by kind of combining your nutrition and of course working out, which I know you can speak upon too, it really does help with improving your mental health.
Absolutely. I really like that question. Thanks a lot for that, Neil. Both your
was
questions
great
were
that's what I'm here for. I'm here for those.
You're all good, my man.
Deep question.
And by the way, just to reiterate, we are talking to Jacqueline DiPasquale, aka Miss Garden State International 2021, live on the Bottom Line podcast, along with Neil Villapiano. I'm Jimmy Fedezi. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube and on our Twitter page at BottomLineWM6. And thank you for those watching on Jackie's Instagram page at Miss Garden State INTL 2021, including Mary. Happy Little Beast is watching the live stream. So thank you, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Mary Molds is one of my two co-directors. I love her so much, and I credit her for my self-growth throughout this past year and a half since her and her co-director, Kim Meehan, have been my directors. They have just been such wonderful rays of light in my life, and I really do call them my other moms. I feel like since I've become involved with the international pageants system, that I went from having one mom in my life to 7. And it's the greatest thing in the world. So thank you, Mary, for everything.
That's great. That's unbelievable. And thank you again, Mary, for watching. It really is a pleasure to see you watching, and to everybody who's watching on Jackie's Instagram. Thank you so much for that. I just kind of building off of Neil's question that he asked before. I actually do have a submitted question from Rishi, actually.
Oh,
and
goodness.
I actually think this is a pretty good one. He asks, what is the difference between bullying and harassment? Which I think is a very interesting question. I don't think this is something that is talked about enough. Personally, for me, there is kind of a distinct difference, but I'm curious to know what you have to say about that. So what do you think the difference is between bullying and harassment?
So I would say that there's some parts of both of them that kind of intertwine with one another.
Right.
In that with bullying and harassment, they keep reoccurring.
Right.
It's a complete reoccurrence.
Yeah.
With bullying also too, I think it kind of crossover with harassment in the case of it being physical, because there's different kinds of bullying.
Physical, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So there's physical bullying. There's something called relational bullying, which not too many people know about. It's when you're spreading rumors about somebody.
Yes.
Then there's, of course, verbal bullying. And then there's cyberbullying as well. So with harassment, I believe that harassment dives more deeply into racial bullying or bullying towards the LGBTQ community or hate crimes as well towards people of various religions. If you hear in the news right now about Jewish people who are being attacked on the streets because of what's going on right now in Israel and Palestine. So that those all completely align with harassment.
Absolutely.
And that really pisses me off. I don't mean to be like really upset or anything, but I'm part Jewish. Half of my family is Jewish. And the thing that is so ridiculous about hearing that is that people just want to assume that people who are Jewish or people who are Black or people of any race, color, ethnicity are just up to no good. And that's where it's just the most ridiculous thing. And it tells you a lot about people. I think that's the thing that people don't understand is that the way that they act towards certain people tells you a lot about who they are as a person. You don't even have to really get to know them to figure that out. And that's the thing that's really frustrating is that, what's going on in Palestine and in Israel right now, it has nothing to do necessarily with Jewish people. It has to do with the government being totally corrupt. And that's the problem. But everybody, especially in this country, likes to take it the other way. And they just want to go. This is what happened when we had the George Floyd unfortunate situation. This is what we had with the election. It's everything. We, not even just in this country, in many countries, we just have this decision in our head that that's just what it is. And there's nothing either we could do about it or nothing that we want to do about it. And that's the thing that is frustrating. And if you don't mind me kind of giving my own thoughts on the difference between bullying and harassment.
No, please, go ahead.
There's something that is very difficult for people to talk about, but it's being brought up a lot more, and that is sexual harassment.
That's another one I feel.
That's a good one.
There is sexual bullying, but it's more sexual harassment because that just happens, unfortunately, on a daily basis.
It does.
This is not something that happens every time you see it in the news. For every person that gets talked about on the news that did it, there's about 20 other cases that nobody talks about. And that's the biggest issue is that we are not talking about this stuff enough. We are just talking about the ones that we want to talk about that are the most quote unquote messed up. And that's the biggest issue. And it all starts with kind of what I was talking about before was about it starts at home. It starts at home. And also it's about realizing to yourself, does this make any logical sense? Like if you stop and really think about it, if you take away the right side of your brain and you just think about it from the logical left side of your brain, does it make logical sense to do the things that people do? The answer is a big fat no. And that's obvious. And we're doing a better job of making that obvious. But we are still a long way to go because unfortunately, racism, sexism, misogyny, everything unfortunately has existed since the dawn of time. I mean, it's gone on for generation, but we are improving. That's the thing that I would say. But the biggest difference between harassment and bullying, in my opinion, is simply this. With bullying, for a lot of times, there's a certain line that never gets crossed. Harassment just takes it over the top to the point where it's just like, okay, to some people, it was funny at first. Now it's just really ridiculous where even the people who are encouraging the bullying are also saying, wait a minute, that's messed up. We can't be doing that. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed because that's just kind of what I've seen and from experiences that I have witnessed or I've been a part of, unfortunately. So it's things like that.
No, I 100%, I'm 100% with you on everything you said, and it was very well said. Jackie, do you have a rebuttal to that?
I have a couple. Nothing to say against it at all. Actually,
no.
If you do, that's fine. That's what I encourage. I'm not trying, and I didn't try to make this a whole political thing.
No, you're fine.
I wanted everybody to be understanding. It has nothing. The whole thing with what's going on between Jewish people and what's going on in Palestine has nothing to do with the fact that it's just because it's Jewish people. No, it's that the government that is involved is messed up.
Yes.
And they choose. They're shooting people out of the sky. People are trying to get out of that country, and people are being shot out of the sky. There are people that have been shot in their own place of worship. They're going there to worship, and they're getting bombed up. But we want to say, oh, it's Jewish people's fault. That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. And the fact that people believe this stuff tells you all you need to know. So that's my little rant for this.
Jackie?
So there's a couple of things I'd like to add to that.
Sure.
One thing is that when we're seeing all these really, really scary and unfortunate things that are happening in our country, and it's really, really hurting the minorities within our country, we see that very specifically, and different races, different religions and such. One thing that we all have to look at, because everybody's going to have a different opinion about
100%.
everything, is educating ourselves.
Thank you.
We cannot and that's how I've always formed my judgments. I go through very unbiased research. I watch the news all the time. I keep myself up to date, educated right now, and I have been for the past year working from home at my job. So for those of you who don't know, I work as a marketing coordinator at a national civil engineering firm. So as I'm doing my work throughout the day, I put the news on.
Right.
And I watch everything that is going on. And if there is something that I don't fully understand, or I don't have the most formulated opinion for, I'll go and do my own unbiased research. And and that's what it boils down to, is that we all need to educate ourselves in whatever way is most comfortable for ourselves. And if that's a specific news source that you trust, if you'd like to watch it on TV or go on social media, or you can go on the internet as well. And you can also talk to trusted individuals, talk to trusted friends about it, or talk to trusted family members about it. Or even if there is some sort of professional within a specific industry in which they're talking about a news story, you could go speak with them as well, get some professional insight on it too.
Absolutely.
And then the other part of it too, though, is there's not enough representation on mental health. I think it's become such a great conversation in our country, and that's something that I really stand upon with my platform, because I know how much my own mental health has been affected from being bullied. So I think that if there's, again, more action done on the federal level, and also in each individual state, because each state is different. The people are different. The backgrounds are different. The life experiences are different. So
the attitude is different.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The attitude is different.
Absolutely. If you look at the attitude of people here in New Jersey versus people in Texas, and I'm only saying that because we have a wonderful Texas team with my national civil engineering firm that I work at.
There you go.
Yes. But if we really examine the mental health effects of everybody and look at it state by state, and then if we're looking around the world, let's look at it country by country basis. Let's look in South America. Let's look in Central America. Let's look throughout Europe. Let's see in Italy. Let's see in Russia. Let's see in China. Let's see what's going on, because
look what's going on in India right now.
Yes,
there are millions of people dying all the time because the government and the system that has been put in place there just, quite frankly, doesn't really want to try to help the regular people. And I know that it's tough, but I mean, we're in a situation where the supply in many ways outweighs the demand when it comes to vaccinations. I mean, it's frustrating because there are people that really need it, and they're not being given a chance. And that's the thing, that we need more people to point these things out and to make it more public. I think we did, from a social media standpoint, I think for a lot of things, we did a pretty bang up job with the Black Lives Matter movement, especially after what happened to George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor. And you saw it on social media every day. People were sharing stuff on their stories. They were doing the black screen, whatever the case may be. They were making it a point. Now, if we use that energy the same way in everything else, amazing things can happen because we were all created as ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And that's what this whole forget about the United States. That's what this entire world has been built on. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Every person's ever existed, even the most famous people you could think of, they were just ordinary people. They did not just come into the world and they were automatically just the greatest thing since sliced bread. They were legitimately ordinary people that for one reason or another, worked hard in some cases and did something significant in this world. And I think that that's the biggest thing, that even someone like myself, you as well, can do extraordinary things like that. And that's the thing. We all have a voice. We all have different platforms, not just social media, but talking, education, and so many other things. And I think that's the thing that we're missing. We're missing that whole point. We're always, especially with the way the generations do things is really ridiculous. They always they screw up and then they palm it off on the next generation. I forgot which governor it was, but I think it was the governor of, I want to say Delaware, that said, oh, it's up to the younger generation to make the real difference. Well, guess what? Your generation isn't dead yet. You can also continue to try to make a difference, or you can just be lazy and just accept that you screwed up and you don't want to change anything. And that's the thing. Yeah. As long as you are, you are living, you are breathing, you have the opportunity to make a positive impact in somebody's life, even if it's something so small. If you go up to grocery shop and you just ask the cashier how's your day is, it goes so far it just goes so long for them. And it's an amazing thing. They think about it and it makes them feel better. And it's things like that. Yeah. And that's just the point that I wanted to make on that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And Andrew definitely agrees with that. Again, Andrew, thanks for watching. And thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube and also again on our Twitter page at BottomLineWDMCX and also on Jackie's Instagram live stream. We thank you very much. So going back to your work with the pageant with Miss Garden State International, there was actually an event that I had the pleasure of attending back a couple months ago where you actually crowned the new Miss New Jersey International and you were crowned Miss Garden State International officially. So from the moment that you were crowned Miss New Jersey International to now being crowned Miss Garden State International, describe the emotions that you were feeling at the time you were on that stage a couple months ago, crowning somebody new and then becoming Miss Garden State International. What were your emotions at the time?
Believe it or not, I was much more emotional than I thought I would be. I am one to not really cry in front of anybody, despite actually being a pretty emotional person. I'm a pretty sensitive person, and Jimmy, being one of my longtime best friends, knows this. Yes. He can tell you all.
No, I do know that, yes.
I started tearing up on stage. I looked at my sister queen, Nancy Warham, who was Miss New Jersey International 2020.
Right.
Her and I just started tearing up. I was tearing up walking on stage. And I remember doing my final walk with the recording of my voice, thanking everybody who had made my year just so wonderful, including my family, my friends, my directors, my coach. So many people. I couldn't even list anybody individually because I unfortunately didn't have enough time. I only had 1 minute.
Right, yeah.
But if I did have enough time, I'm pretty sure it would have taken me 5 minutes long because, they say it truly does take a village to succeed towards your goals. Yes. And I'm so thankful for my wonderful village. So I think it was just the emotions of that coming together. And also being Miss New Jersey International 2020, of course 2020 was a really, really hard year. It was a very,
to say the least.
Really difficult year for our country.
Yeah, sure.
They're gonna make a movie about it.
I'm sure they will.
I'm gonna hate it. I'm not gonna watch it because I
just like 2012.
No, right, and we thought 2012 was going to be the worst year on the planet.
Thank you, exactly. But anyway,
it was only bad because the Kings won the Stanley Cup. That's what it was. Right? I guess it was the worst year in the world.
Oh my God. And anyway, though, please continue, Jackie.
But with 2020, there's never going to be a year like that.
Oh, no.
100%.
And
we will be much more prepared for the next pandemic. I will tell you that right now.
And to be a representative of anti-bullying as well as the international pageant system and be representing my state during that year. What an incredible honor it was. Truly. And I hope that I made New Jersey proud representing them. And I hope that I can continue to do that as Miss Garden State, because I have to tell you, it was such a wonderful experience. I only had 2 appearances that were in person during that time. And although I was very sad to not be able to interact with students in schools as much as I had ideally wanted to, the power of social media connects you all over the world.
Yes.
If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have spoken to a school all the way in California.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
I would have never connected with this amazing anti-bullying nonprofit called Stand for Kind.
Yes.
They had invited me on their podcast a while back called The I in Kind. And I really recommend you guys all follow Stand for Kind. If you just write stand the number 4 kind, you'll find them on Instagram and you'll find their podcast there.
Yes.
There was an episode about myself and my story. And since then, I just fell in love with their story and what they're doing to create some really incredible programs for schools across the country. They're based in Utah. They even have a special app where students in schools can submit compliments to one another to help promote a kinder environment.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then in addition to that, if any of you noticed the shirt, I'll just take off my sash for a second so you can kind of see. I'm wearing this shirt from a company called Human Being Mankind, where be and kind are highlighted a little bit more. I connected with them shortly before I won the title of Miss New Jersey International. They quickly asked me to be one of their very first official ambassadors.
That's awesome.
It's such a special clothing line because they donate half of their profits to a different nonprofit every month. And that's part of my platform, is encouraging kindness and spreading it in all of its forms. And one of those ways, really, and listen, I am not one who would like to make money off of anything or encourage anybody to buy anything. But if I am going to encourage you, please buy from Human Being Mankind, because half of their profits go to local nonprofits in need. And they have done such an outstanding job with donating to various nonprofits such as Feeding America during the height of the pandemic. Really, really outstanding work. So I've done some really great collaborations with them, and I'm really looking forward to doing some more with them in the near future.
That's awesome. Now, what was the most important lesson that you've learned from your time as Miss New Jersey International up until now as Miss Garden State?
You know, I realized I would like to say it was in November. So this was, let's say, maybe about 6 months. I'm not the greatest in math, but I believe it was about 6 months after I won the title. Or maybe a little bit more than 6 months. I had won my title on March 28th, 2020. So this was in November of 2020. I had realized as I was continuing to grow my platform and my podcast, how much that I was still hurting in my heart from being bullied, and that I never had truly taken action to heal myself. Because what I found is that I find healing through helping others, because then I can connect and I can relate with them. But I realized that how can I continue to advocate for healthful healing if I'm not taking those steps myself? And that was a huge aha moment for me. And during that month, I had done all the research I could possibly find, and I found a local therapist to start seeing. And I have been seeing her since December, and she is just so wonderful and has changed my life in more ways than I could imagine. She's helped me to realize things about myself that I have been struggling with my whole life. And I never, of course, realized those things until she brought those to the surface. And by realizing those things and being able to really embrace them and almost have an answer for why I think the way I think, or maybe the way that I behave, it helps so much with your healing process.
Of course.
Yeah.
I once again am a large advocate for mental health, and I always encourage I always call victims of bullying my 1 in 5ers to kind of go with my platform. I always encourage my 1 in 5ers to start seeing a therapist because I think there is a very unfortunate stigma that's attached to seeing a therapist. And that's why I've made it my mission to be completely open and honest with that. That I can say to people, hey, I'm a pageant queen. I see a therapist.
Yeah,
everyone does. I cannot stress enough. There are more NFL players. There are more NBA players. There are more MLB players who are seeing mental health therapists than you think.
That is true.
They're just not sharing about that. And that's where it kind of boils down to with what you were saying earlier, Neil. With everything that is happening, we need to have more conversations about it. We need more people to say, hey, I'm seeing a therapist, and that's okay.
Yeah. Because
I believe that seeing a therapist should be the same as seeing your primary care physician or seeing your dermatologist, seeing your chiropractor or your physical therapist. It should all be one and the same.
Yeah.
Now, years ago, this was before I was born, my parents got married in 1984.
Right.
Shortly after, they moved to a little town called Whittier in California.
Okay.
And they lived out there for about 6 years. My mom worked on various game shows, such as Card Sharks.
Yes.
And while my dad finished up his doctorate degree in chiropractic and started chiropractic sciences and began practicing on patients.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was really, really fascinating that my mom told me about is that out there in California, having a mental health therapist is just as normal as having a primary care physician. So why is
100%.
it like that out in California, but then you come to the East Coast and it's not like that? And the one thing that we do see is that here in New Jersey and New York in the Northeast, we are very tough people.
Yes.
We're very tough people. And I think we tend to put on this front that we're strong and that we're not allowed to show our weaknesses. We're not allowed to share that raw truth when we are hurting in our hearts and when we're crying. Look at social media. Look at the way that everybody's photoshopped all the time. Reels, TikTok, these videos. That's just a highlight of all that is just a highlight of the good part of our lives.
Yes.
There's not enough being talked about with the bad.
Right.
Because it happens to everybody.
Right.
So once again, if we share more about that and we normalize that conversation, that's what's going to help us to take large strides with mental health awareness, with bullying prevention awareness, with hate crimes.
100% right.
With harassment, with bullying in general.
100%.
That's what's going to help.
Yeah.
We share our raw truth. We educate each other. We educate ourselves.
Yes.
That's what it boils down to.
Couldn't have said that any better myself. Neil, if you have another question, please feel free to go ahead.
I don't really have a question.
Yeah.
No, it's more of just I'm listening and I'm observing and I'm just taking it all in like everybody who's watching.
No, I get it. Yeah. I see how it is. But no,
are there any
in all seriousness, actually, Rishi does submit another question. I have a feeling I know where he's going with this one, and I'm kind of scared to ask it.
Want me to ask it?
Can a friend bully you?
Yeah.
I think I know where he's going. I think I know where he's going, Rishi. Rishi, I know you're trying to be a troll to this one right here. Ain't gonna happen. Sorry, pal. But in all honest to God seriousness,
100%.
Can that happen?
Yep.
And how can it be fixed?
So number one, I'm going to explain the trolling because that is not the most professional in pageantry, and I want to make sure that that nobody's questioning anything about me.
No.
Jimmy and I are part of this large group of friends. Well, semi-large. There's 5 of us in the group, and our friend Rishi is part of this group too. And if my pageant followers look back on my Instagram, you will see a picture of the 2 of us along with our 3 other friends, Rishi, Tyler, and Harley. And part of the way that our group bonds with one another is that we poke fun. at each other. So I just want to clarify that is why, well, partially the reason why Rishi is asking that question.
No hard feelings.
I promise I would not bully anybody.
No hard feelings.
But in all seriousness, yes, absolutely. And I have to say that because that's what happened to me.
Yes.
Personally. And I didn't realize that until at least 10 years after being friends with a particular girl in school. What we had gone to nursery school together. I had known her since I was 3 years old. We had a very big falling out when we were 14 years old. So I was, or I'm sorry, I take that back. I apologize. We were 15 years old. It was towards the end of our freshman year of high school. And once we had ended our friendship, it took me a couple of years to realize how she was bullying me in the background. She would always be very competitive with me. We took dance classes together. We went to the same dance school. She would try her hardest to make it to a higher level than me. And she succeeded in that. She made it to a higher dance level. She would be in ballet 3 and I would be in ballet 2.
Right.
Okay.
And she had done the same, it seemed, with winning her parents' love because her parents and I had a really good relationship back in the day too. It was those little things like that. And then when we ended our friendship, and it was in a very unfortunate and very sad way where both of our families got involved. It was particularly both of our mothers. We had mutual friends. There was this group of us girls who all spent our time together our freshman year of high school. And in turn, she told all those girls some very untrue things about me, and they stopped being my friend as a result. So I had lost several friends. So there was even a competition amongst friends too. And so because of that, I had lost many friends, not just my freshman year of high school, but even progressively throughout high school, to the point where I lost the high majority of friends in my graduating class, with the exception of one person. So that is a very real situation. It's not discussed enough, and I'm really happy you brought up that question.
Kind of like what you were brought up earlier, Neil, with the bullying and harassment thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something that
I didn't mean to cut you off, Jackie. I apologize.
No, I mean, it's just simply that, like, you never know when it's happening. Like, especially if you're close with someone, you could chalk it up. You could chalk it up to just like, friends just acting like friends, and there's a thing where it's called, you joke around and you're funny, but then there's also the line of like when you really think about it. And it's tough too, because especially when you're someone that maybe is more sensitive to those things than others, it's tougher to realize at times, what is, are they really your friends? And I think that one thing that I learned over time about friends is simply that when you look at somebody that you hang out with, are they the type of people that you feel comfortable enough to tell them things that maybe for most people you wouldn't feel comfortable talking about?
Yeah.
Is it somebody that you would trust? I mean, I don't mean to go crazy here, but is it somebody that you trust like your life with almost? Yeah. Because to me, if that's not the case, then they're not really your friends, they're your acquaintances.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. So, I mean, it's a really tough thing, because you think that if you have friends, then you're not going to get bullied. Well, unfortunately, it still happens, because everybody is dealing with their own situations internally, and there are different ways that people express them and different things, and it's just a difficult thing, and I feel very bad that happened to you, because it's just it's a horrible thing to have somebody that you were friends with, that you were close with, that not even all of a sudden, but just like wants to constantly try to be better than you for whatever reasons internally that might be. And reality is that you may know somebody, but in reality you don't. Nobody knows you. The only person that one knows very well is themselves.
Absolutely.
They know what they're about. And the thing that's so interesting about things that I've learned is that there is something, and I was told this by somebody, where you can look at somebody, regardless of whether they're your friend, even your family to a lesser extent, coworkers, whoever you interact with, they don't really know what you've been through, regardless of what's happened. They could know you since you were a child.
Yep.
But they still don't know what you deal with or what you've dealt with. And you know what? That's just what it is. And everybody should be sensitive to the fact that that's what happens. And it's difficult because a lot of people don't like sensitivity. They don't like sensitivity. They push it away, or they tell you to man up, or even, act like a man. That's been a big topic of discussion.
Oh, yeah.
What does that actually mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's all these things. And it's such a difficult thing, especially for guys, to feel like that they can be open enough to be emotional and to be, just to be open. And so at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. It's 100% certain that you can be bullied by your own friends without you even realizing it. It's about taking the time to stop and think about, who they are and what how do you feel about them and things like that. And you have to have those heart-to-hearts with yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the things that happen there.
Yeah, no, you couldn't have said that any better. I didn't mean to cut you off in the middle of your answer. I apologize, but please feel free to continue, Jackie.
The only thing I was going to add is there are some really great children's books out there about friends bullying you.
Yes.
So for those of you out there who are parents and have a child who you believe is being bullied by one of his or her friends, I highly recommend looking it up. If you just research children's books about a child being bullied by his or her friend, I know it's a long search term, but believe me, there will be several books that will come up.
Right.
And I think that it's a conversation that really needs to be discussed, especially at a young age, because of course I was completely unaware when I was younger, but if I was more aware, then that could have positively impacted my high school experience when my old friend and I did have that falling out during our freshman year.
Right. No, you're 100% right. And there are definitely a lot more children's books out there than you would think. So definitely take up Jackie's suggestion and look those up. It'll definitely be worth your time. Can I
read something if you don't mind?
Sure.
There's a guy that I follow. His name is Case Kenny, or Case.Kenny on Instagram. Okay. He has a couple books out there. He has a podcast called New Mindset. Who Dis. A couple of his books are called Single is Your Superpower or New Mindset Journal. He made this caption a couple weeks ago, back on May 12th.
Right.
And it said, it was very interesting. It said, it's not helpful to say that only your opinion of you matters. Of course, other people's opinions of you matter. Your boss' opinion of you matters. That person on Bumble, their opinion matters. Your friends' opinions of you matters. But you know exactly who you are and what you represent and what you've been through, and nobody else can say that. So how could someone else's opinion of you possibly hold more weight than your own? Do they know you like you know you? No. Do they know your past? Do they know the ups and downs of your life? Do they know what you've overcome? No, they don't. Someone else's opinion of you is always lacking in some way. Their opinion of you is not your reality, and you live in your reality. Don't let someone else's opinion of you become your opinion of you. And I also wanted to quote my father, because my father gave me one of the best pieces of advice, or just a statement. He said to me, at the end of the day, all you have is your personal integrity. You know what you are about. You know what you like, what you don't like, what you want in life. You know that. You know what you believe in, and you know what is right. And I would highly recommend this movie. It's a very old movie, but it's called Do the Right Thing, which starred Spike Lee. It's one of his first time movies. Yeah. Trust me, it's about racism, but trust me, it's about just doing the right thing and understanding what the right thing is. And that's the biggest thing here. It's all about understanding that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and you're done hanging out with friends, or if you're just in your room, you know you better than anyone else. And yes, other people's opinions matter to an extent. Right. But when it comes to the sheer depth when you go as emotional, as personal as you possibly can, only you know who you are and you know exactly what you're about. So forget what other people say. Straight up, forget what other people say. At the end of the day, you know exactly who you are. You know you, and there is not a single person on this planet in the history of time that will ever be able to say that they know you better than you know yourself. Plain and simple. Amen
to that, brother. That's very well said. Very well said. And just kind of building off of what Neil was saying. Just next question here. As you prepare for the upcoming international pageant in Kingsport in July, what is the one piece of advice that you are taking to heart, and who gave it to you?
That's actually a really good question.
The one piece of advice, I cannot talk tonight, that I always share.
I don't mean to cut you off. English is not common with us, so sorry.
Neither is math.
It is not. No.
Anyway, please continue.
So what I was going to say is the one piece of advice I always share is something that came from my mom.
Okay.
At a very young age. And this was especially when bullying was really starting to affect my life. And that's to always stay true to yourself, never change who you are, have good character and integrity. 100%. Those words have always stuck with me. And again, I love to share it too, just because it's created such an impact on my life, especially when all I received for most days of school growing up from my classmates,
right?
Not from my teachers. My teachers were wonderful, but from my classmates was words of discouragement, words tearing apart my character and tearing apart who I was as a young Christian girl who was well accomplished and such. So it helped to remind me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made as the person that I am. And that is a quote from, that is actually a Bible verse.
Amen. Amen to that. Last question here, then we're going to have some fun here, all right?
Yes.
Regardless of the results of this upcoming pageant, what goals do you hope to achieve from this experience?
The first and the largest goal for me is multiplying the listenership of my podcast, 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed, by a few times. So I actually just checked tonight just before this interview, and my podcast is currently being listened to in 11 countries and 19 states, which is so cool. And I'm so excited about how 1 in 5 has gone worldwide, and it continues to grow as each day passes.
Love it.
It's so exciting for me. So I'd like to triple that.
Yes.
Within the next year. I also would like to continue to support Stand for Kind and create a special partnership with them. I also am working on speaking to more schools now as COVID restrictions are starting to lighten up. I really, really hope that I can visit schools in person as well, because I unfortunately have not had that opportunity to do that yet. However, that does not stop me from still visiting schools.
Right.
Like I said, I visited a school in California over Zoom, and it was such an incredible experience. I visited a couple of schools in New Jersey as well.
There you go.
And I do have a little bit of a sneak peek. I will be visiting virtually with a New Jersey nonprofit this July.
Hint, okay.
Yeah, so I am super, super excited about it.
Very nice.
I will give the date, July 24th.
Okay.
Which is actually the day that I will be flying out to Kingsport, Tennessee for the Miss International Pageant.
There you go. Awesome.
There you go.
Otherwise, I would have been there in person for this event. But,
Right.
But I will be speaking virtually. So I am very excited about that. I can't wait to share with you all what that nonprofit is.
That's amazing.
And also, I will say that a representative of this nonprofit will be a future guest on my podcast.
Okay. Right.
So I cannot wait to do amazing collaborations with this nonprofit, and I can't wait to share what it is. I wish I could share it right now, but I have to be patient, as all of you need to be.
And she was pointing those on Instagram as well for those who are not watching on our YouTube and our Twitter pages as well.
Yes.
And thank you again to those who are watching on our social medias and also on Jackie's Instagram. Yep, absolutely. And please continue to support our friend and go subscribe to her podcast, 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed. It is tremendous stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. I do see several comments on
by the same person. By the same person.
Andrew.
Yes. You can always count on Andrew. He's the man. He's been listening to this since the very beginning of this podcast.
Wow, Andrew, so. I love your dedication to the bottom line, as well as your support of me. Thank you so much. Yes. That means so much. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Andrew.
Are there any additional questions or comments on Instagram? I want to make sure I'm not missing them.
As of right now, not yet. But if there are, I will certainly let the audience and you know. So let's have a little fun here, shall we? Before we talk about your Jets, I do have a bit of a personal question for you. Now, you obviously, I've known you for a very long time, almost 8 years now. It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I do know this for a fact that you actually, for those who don't know, a little bit of a factoid about our good friend here, you are actually a drummer.
Yes, I am.
Who inspired you to pick up drumsticks?
That would happen to be my mother.
Nice.
So my mom, once again, her name is Laura. She is a self-taught drummer.
Wow.
Nice.
She has
mad respect.
She has always loved rock music and was inspired by the drummers from Led Zeppelin and from Rush to pick up a pair of drumsticks and learn the drums by ear.
There you go.
So I remember being in 4th grade, and the band teacher that was back then, Mrs. Wagner, shout outs to her because she taught me everything I know about playing the drums.
Nice.
She was such a wonderful teacher. She has since retired from my elementary and middle school, but it was so wonderful.
All the best to her.
Yes, absolutely. So I remember back in 4th grade, she had taken the theater in my old school, and this was G. Harold Antrim Elementary School. It was a preschool through 8th grade school. So I went there for elementary and middle school. She had this presentation of various music instruments throughout the theater.
Yeah.
She had the flute. I had tried the flute. I had tried the clarinet, the saxophone, the trumpet. It was very cool. Being able to try out everything. And of course, she was very sanitary with all the instruments. So for the woodwind instruments, which would be, again, the clarinet and the flute, then you have your brass instruments, trumpet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the trombone as well. All those were sanitized. So don't worry, everybody.
Gotcha.
I have to give away that little factoid.
All good.
Of course, especially because of this pandemic.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked. So as soon as I picked up the drumsticks and started playing on the snare drum, I knew right then and there, I'm going to be a drummer.
There you go.
Just like my mama.
There you go.
So it's been a really cool experience bonding with my mom over that, because there is this stigma with girl drummers. You never see any girl drummers.
Thank you.
And I love how powerful I feel when I hold a pair of drumsticks and I'm just playing it out on the drum set, playing it to all different kinds of songs.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you and I jam out a lot. Jimmy is also a drummer, and he also is a guitarist.
Yes.
And we both like to sing a little bit too, albeit we're probably not the best singers, but we do like to have fun. So we love to jam out together.
I mean, you're probably a better singer than me, but I digress. Actually, not probably. You are a better singer than me. We'll save that for off the air.
I have no idea what's going on.
We're just going to keep debating with each other. I mean, this podcast episode is probably already 2 hours, so we're like.
And also, it's brought to you by Vitamin Water. Please sponsor us.
Vitamin Water.
Please sponsor us.
If any of you are curious as to what flavor I'm drinking, it's the Power C Dragon Fruit. And the only reason why I'm drinking this is because my little brother, Adam, does not like this flavor. So,
come on.
So I was given this lovely flavor. I actually really like it a lot. So if those of you don't like the power flavor, I recommend giving it another try because I think it's quite delicious.
There you go. But anyway, please continue.
But drumming for me has been such an incredible bonding experience with my mom.
Right.
How many mother-daughter duos out there are both drummers?
Not many.
It's so special. It really is. It's such a rare experience. Yeah. And the other thing too, that it's really helped me along my journey of healing. I was in the marching and concert band in middle school and in high school during the most painful time of my life, being bullied. So having a pair of drumsticks and the ability to hit the snare drum as hard as I had wanted to, hit the bass drum, the timpani, the tambourine, the triangle. I played basically everything within the percussions. Hey, you can rock out on the triangle.
You can.
Cowbell.
Oh goodness.
If anybody,
we need more cowbell.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if anybody's a Saturday Night Live fan, more cowbell.
Yes.
But being able to play all those really amazing instruments helped me to feel very empowered during a time where I was feeling so much pain.
No, I completely get it. I can definitely vouch for that. It definitely helps relieve a lot of stress. I can definitely vouch for that. 100%. But now let's have a little bit of fun here, Neil. I know you've been dying to talk about Julio Jones. We will get to that. Actually, you know what? Let's get to it now a little bit, because for those who didn't hear, Julio Jones wants out of Atlanta. He said so. Apparently, he didn't know he was live when he announced it. He knew. Okay.
No, he didn't say it out loud, but he knows.
Well, yeah, that's true. But no,
he requested a trade months ago.
That's true.
So,
we were kind of having this discussion off the air. We were like, "Oh, watch them go to the Patriots," and you were like, "No, that's not going to happen. They're not looking to win anytime soon." And thank God for you, because you're a Jets fan. You don't want to see the Patriots win anything anytime soon. But
here's the thing. I have a question. I came up with this earlier today.
Go ahead.
And I wanted to ask it to you because you are a Jets fan, unfortunately. Yes, anyway.
Whoa.
Dang.
I'm pretty sure you just threw some shade
at
Garden State International.
I did write a book about the pain of being a Jets fan.
No, you did. You did.
But
by the way, go buy that book on Amazon, 1969. By the way,
JETS pain. In case you forgot the name of the book.
Yes, thanks.
Anyway, my question to you is simply this: because you are a tremendous presenter, you are a great talker.
Oh, thank you.
Here's the thing. If Julio Jones was sitting across from you and he asked you straight up, why should I go to the New York Jets?
Oh, no.
What would you tell him?
Oh, my goodness.
How would you present it?
That's a really good question.
I want to hear this.
That's a really good question.
I would tell him, please do not go to the New York Jets.
And that, my friend, is called marketing.
Yes.
I bleed green and white through and through. I was born to a New York Jets family. My mom, in addition to drumming, my mom is actually the person who helped me to gain my interest in football and helped me to really learn the game. I love playing football with my family, and in fact, we hold a Super Bowl party at our house every year.
Yes.
Jimmy has been to several, and Neil, obviously you're invited to next year. You're more than welcome to come. We would love to have you there.
Hopefully the Giants are in
it. Keep dreaming. Just keep dreaming.
Okay, Mr. Optimistic person. This man over here always optimistic, and now he's like, no, it ain't going to happen. All right, so.
Hey, well, you know what? It's okay to be realistic.
Thank you. Please continue.
But so my family does hold a Super Bowl party every year, and we have a special Super Bowl pool that we come up with too, and
I'll remember that.
And we so a little bit. So a fact about my household, and I don't think that many of my pageant followers know this, but my house was hit by Hurricane Sandy on October 29th, 2012. Unfortunately, it received over 5 feet of water, 5 to 6 feet, because I had a multiple level kind of house that my garage was ground level, and then the main part of my house was couple, I would say maybe like an extra foot or two up. So we had to basically knock my house down to its foundation and then rebuild it from there. And that, of course, was a very painful time in my life, which we can discuss on another episode of the Bottom Line if you would like to have me for a part time.
You're always welcome back. You know that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to be like too out there about it, but I really appreciate it. But when we had redone our house, we installed surround sound speakers downstairs.
Cool. Very cool.
And we created an open room downstairs. So our dining room, our kitchen, and our family room is all essentially one open room.
Okay.
So when the Super Bowl is on, we just crank up the volume.
Yes.
And it's such an amazing experience. We invite all of our relatives and our closest friends over. We have so much fun. We'll have everybody bring over their favorite dish, whether it's an appetizer or a dinner dish or dessert or even some sort of snack or a fun drink. And we really have so much fun. So football has always been a very big part of my life and a big bonding experience for me too, especially with my grandfather. My mom became a New York Jets fan because of her father, my grandfather. I call him my papa. And my papa, unfortunately, has been suffering from Parkinson's and his condition is declining. So being able to have football as a special outlet for us to bond upon.
Absolutely.
Because he is losing his memory, football is something that he's still very passionate upon. So I love to sit and watch New York Jets games with him. I really enjoy it. And I love being there with my mom too. Meanwhile, we're not really sitting there watching. It's more so that we're standing up, screaming, clapping our hands. My hands are usually very red by the end of the game. I have no voice.
Is there any other way you're supposed to do it?
I jump and
And
as a dancer, I do very large jumps where I would probably hit the ceiling.
Oh gosh.
That's how high I can jump as a fun fact. I will prove that all to you on my Miss Garden State International social media. I'll do a really fun jumping video.
There you go.
For you guys very soon.
There you go.
So football has been a very big part of my life. And I am a very big New York Jets fan, but I would encourage Julio Jones to find a little bit of a stronger, more established team. And the only reason why I'm saying
actually is trying to win something.
Oh my gosh.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because New York Jets is in, and it's been like this for a little while now, in a transitional period where they're really trying to rebuild the organization, rebuild the whole team. And I know that the Johnson family has been longtime owners of the New York Jets organization, and I believe that the Johnson family should sell the organization because I think that the decisions that they've been making based off of their trades has not been very, very smart, very well educated. Trades. I think that they released Sam Darnold a little too prematurely. I think he has quite a bit of potential as a quarterback, and that talent was hindered by the very weak offensive line that we have. And I think that we should, rather than taking on a new quarterback, and it's nothing against the wonderful quarterback
Zach Wilson.
It's nothing against him at all, but I really do think that we should have focused on taking on a new center because since Nick Mangold's retirement, we haven't found a strong enough center. Nick Mangold, I loved him so much. I think he was over 300 pounds. Absolutely.
He was like 325.
Yeah, around there.
Now he's probably like 225.
I know this is
true.
I know this isn't the most professional pageant terms, but he was a tank.
I will say it's funny. He was a stud.
A stud.
There you go.
A stud.
Yes,
but he was such a talented center that he was able to just take one arm here, and defend against two players from the opposing team.
You're right.
From the defensive line of the other team. Right. Amazing center. Yeah. We haven't had a center like that.
They also had Brickashaw Ferguson as well.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah.
They had Alec Faneca for a long time, who was very good.
Yeah.
And LaDainian Tomlinson. Amazing. Going way back, Curtis Martin. We had We had some really incredible players, and we just haven't found that amazing talent in a very long time. And we'll see what, Zach Wilson can do. But I just, I think, again, we released Sam Darnold a little too prematurely. And we should have
traded to Carolina. Maybe that wasn't the smartest decision on the book.
Yeah. So I am disappointed in that. But shout outs to Sam Darnold. I mean, I love him. I think he'll have a great future.
Who are the Jets playing week 1, Jimmy?
What's that?
Who are the Jets playing week 1?
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, and who's their starting quarterback now?
Sam Darnold.
I rest my case. And by the way, the crazy thing is this. You mean to tell me that the Johnsons can figure out a COVID-19 vaccine but can't run a legitimate NFL franchise?
I see what you did there.
Do you understand how much easier it is to run a franchise than to make a vaccine for the world? So, I'm just saying.
So I need to ask. I'm going to turn the interview around and ask you a question. So obviously, one of the vaccines is Johnson & Johnson.
Yes.
The Johnson family that owns the New York Jets is affiliated with this vaccine.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
it's a little known fact that probably not many people know.
Johnson is Woody Johnson and Christopher Johnson in that family.
Yes.
That is a family business that has been passed down over time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing that's very funny, because I got my vaccine at MetLife Stadium, if everybody can believe it. I got Pfizer. I did not. My second dosage was Johnson & Johnson, and there were people in the line that said, I can't believe that I'm trusting my life now to the Johnsons. First it was my sanity, now it's my life. Because it's that. But I like poking. The Jets are the Jets. That's all I'm going to say. And my dad is a Jets fan and also a Giants fan. Don't really know how you could be fans of both of the teams.
I respect that, though.
Okay.
They're both New York teams, though.
Yeah, but
listen, as a New York Jets fan, I completely respect Giants fans. I respect the New York Giants. I really can't say the same about the Buffalo Bills, though.
Oh,
because
God.
Nobody circles the wagons.
that's the only thing I will say.
I mean, my uncle did play for them at one point in his career.
True.
I will respect the New York Giants, but I do not have much respect for the Buffalo Bills because I felt that they, quote unquote, stole a lot of the New York Jets players.
I mean, Rex Ryan did beat them to knock them out of the playoffs one year.
And they were 10-6 that year.
I am not I am not the biggest fan of the Buffalo Bills. And obviously, as a New York Jets fan, I hope that I have some people who are either on the YouTube Live or on the Instagram Live who are also New York Jets fans. Because
Andrew is not a Jets fan. He's a Giants.
He's a Giants fan like us.
He knows that.
Because you will all share with me when I say we do not like the Patriots.
Yes.
Also notice we're not the biggest fans of Tom Brady. So therefore, I'm not a great big fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers either.
Man.
Nobody's a fan of any team that Tom Brady plays for.
And you know what? I will say that Tom Brady is an absolutely incredible quarterback, but just because he was the quarterback of the New England Patriots for many years, I'm sorry if he transfers to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. I don't really like the Buccaneers either. It's just by association. I'm sorry to all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans out there. You know what? It's a great team. I'm very involved with oh my goodness, I can't believe that I am forgetting the leagues that we do every year. That we do the fantasy league. I forgot for a second. I can't believe it. Yes, fantasy football league. So I participate in fantasy football leagues every year. My family has one, and then Jimmy's usually a part of it. We have a lot of fun.
Fantasy football?
Yes, and I will never play it again.
Oh, you're so lame.
I'm joking. Relax.
So,
especially if you don't put any money down.
Oh my God.
Or don't put any money down. I know people do.
So that's another little known fact about me is that I love to play fantasy football. I even played that one league where you choose which team is going to win every week.
Okay. You do like pick'ems and stuff.
Yeah. So I was in I was in that league. So the very first time that I did that was not this past season, but the season before that.
2019. Yep.
Yes. So the very first time I ever played that kind of league, and I won.
Nice.
And I won that whole league. So, ladies,
well done.
Ladies, you can play fantasy football leagues too and win.
You can.
I encourage you, ladies out there, even if you're not the most informed about football, I know
the chances are you're still going to win.
Yes. And
because us guys do not know what we're doing when it comes to drafting our fantasy teams. I overthink it all the time.
We all do. I mean, I even have experience with overthinking too. But I was going to say with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is I've drafted Mike Evans a couple times too.
I had Mike Evans on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Who they say, and this is in fantasy football league terms, a boom or a bust.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see why people would say that.
I can see that too. Yeah.
But fantasy football is fun.
It
just don't pick anybody from the Jets.
Yes, it is a really fun, and I encourage everybody out there, if you've never tried a fantasy football league, and I know there's other fantasy leagues out there.
Yeah, I play fantasy hockey every year.
Yeah,
yes,
there's fantasy hockey, basketball, and even baseball too.
Yeah, so definitely give them a try. I think they're really fun, and it's also a really cool way to bond with your family and bond with your friends.
Absolutely.
Especially if you put money on the line.
Yeah. And it especially
people put that money. I'm not kidding.
I mean,
but it especially was a really cool way for us all to bond when we felt so far away from each other.
Right.
In the height of the pandemic.
Of course.
So I found that being in the fantasy football league, both with drafting teams and both with picking winning teams every week, that I was able to bond and meet some really amazing, fascinating people during a time where we felt so far apart.
Sports brings people together.
Absolutely.
Whether people realize it or not, they do.
Yes.
100%. So with that in mind, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. So with the Jets schedule out officially, I know it's May, so please, before you kill me, I just came up with this idea.
The draft happened exactly a month ago.
I understand that.
Wow, I can't believe it's already been a month since.
Oh,
I know, right?
Crazy.
I know, right? That's how fast time's going. It's hard to believe. But we're going to play a little game that everyone likes to play, the win-loss game. I'm going to give you each Jets game week by week, and we're going to say whether they win or lose that game. Are you both ready?
I'm going to the Jets game against the Titans in week 5.
So. I wish we had signs. I feel like we need signs where it's win or lose, and we can flip them, and of course my phone is recording Instagram Live.
It's all right.
It's like the heads up, that app game. That
yes.
Heads up. We need that, the heads up where
it says W or L.
I guess my laptop is over here. I guess I could put on my laptop. Have it say
W, L, or an N.
Whatever works.
I'll make it with my hands. I'll be like W.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I think it's opposite, so I think it should be the right ways for.
Oh my God.
If I do the opposite
take L's, so you take L's.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So with that being said, let's get started. So week 1, we talked about it earlier. Jets at Carolina Panthers. That is a 1 p.m. kickoff on September 12th. Win or loss? Jackie?
I am actually going to say win.
Ooh.
I'm going to say win. I know that it's obviously a disadvantage because they're going to be on the road. However, the Carolina Panthers, they didn't have the best season last year. They were certainly a wild card.
Mediocre.
Yeah, and mediocre is definitely
a better word.
They
were mediocre.
Yeah, it was a better word for it, certainly.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to say that the New York Jets are going to have some extra motivation in themselves and show up and win that first game of the season.
Very interesting. Neil? I know exactly where you're going.
Nothing would please Sam Darnold more than to beat up the Jets in week 1. Even if it was at MetLife, it would be even sweeter.
Oh my gosh.
But I do think that the Panthers will win this game. You think about it, you have a first-time head coach, a rookie quarterback, an offensive line that still needs work, and a bunch of new guys.
Yeah.
You basically have a brand new team.
Yep.
And even though you will have a couple preseason games, it's going to be tough right away. And I think Sam Darnold's going to end up getting the last laugh in this situation. And I think that the Panthers are going to win that game, especially because they're in Carolina. So I will say the Jets take an L week 1.
Yeah, I'm right along with you there, Neil. I just think Carolina's the better team. They have Sam Darnold. He's reunited with Robbie Anderson, so that'll help him a ton. DJ Moore is going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's going to be healthy, so he'll definitely have He has a great offensive line. He has weapons.
I wouldn't say he has a great offensive line. He has a better offensive line than he did in New York. But
so I'm with you, Neil. I think the Panthers are winning. So unfortunately, Jackie, the Jets are taking an L from Neil and I in Week 1 against the Panthers.
But since I'm Miss Garden State,
oh gosh,
I'm royalty, right? I mean, according to you, Jimmy, prior to us starting to record this
said
episode,
royalty. He did say this.
I royalty in the house.
I did say that. Yes.
Everybody, I'm going to force everybody on my Instagram Live and on the Bottom Line's YouTube Live to really interact with us right now.
Oh no.
Do you all believe that I should have 2 votes in this win-loss game right now?
Oh my god.
Wait, that I should account for 2 votes?
Oh no.
I mean, I know it probably wouldn't work the best in a situation like this where we would tie, but I think it's a pretty valid question. If Jimmy believes that I'm royalty, I think that I should have 2 votes then. What do you all think?
Oh my god.
I'm very curious to see all your thoughts.
Probably yes.
We
have no chance.
Okay.
Let's see here. I see someone says, "Don't worry, Jackie. I'm a Jets fan as well. I got your back."
Fernando Flores said that. Thank you for watching, Fernando.
Thank you,
Fernando. And
Andrew, if you want to play along too, go ahead.
He is, and he also asked Jackie, "Do you have a favorite game day snack or entree that you like?"
That was Andrew.
That was Andrew who asked that. Yes.
Oh, Andrew.
That's what I call him. That was really awkward. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
My favorite is the classic chicken wings.
Thank you.
And funny fact about that, I used to be very picky about eating any kind of meat off the bone when I was very little.
Yeah.
And out of the blue, just a few years ago, I said, why not? I try it again. And I took a bite. I was in heaven. And since then, I haven't looked back. And
there you go.
And now I love chicken wings. So that is definitely my favorite go-to game snack. Thank you for that question. That was really fun.
There you go. And by the way, Rishi votes yes. Rishi votes yes.
All right, so that's
what you were saying earlier.
Thanks, Rishi.
That's one. That's one.
Yes, I do. Oh, I do see it on here.
Mine is that.
Chicken wings for the win.
Yes. Thank you.
Chicken wings all the way.
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew says he's a chips and chili guy himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very classy man.
There you go. But
also with chicken wings, try. Okay, this is going to sound very strange. The salt and vinegar rub at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Interesting.
If anybody is a salt and vinegar chip fan like myself, I know some people are very 50-50. They think it's absolutely disgusting or they think it's absolutely wonderful.
That's the thing. You either love it or you hate it.
Yes, I love them. The salt and vinegar rub at Buffalo Wild Wings is so heavenly.
Okay.
Also, for anybody who lives either in New Jersey or in Pennsylvania, there's a restaurant called B2 Bistro. They recently released new chicken wings on their menu, and they have a Caribbean dry rub.
Oh, those are so good.
Sounds delightful.
Those are so good.
It is delightful. B2 Bistro, they have locations in my hometown, Point Pleasant Beach, as well as New Brunswick, also in Red Bank, and we're right now in Shrewsbury. So for anybody who is watching out of Shrewsbury, you have a B2 Bistro right next door to you.
Yep, right in Red Bank.
Yes, and then their newest location is in Toms River. And then, of course, they also have one location in Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Oh, Sean Potter's films on YouTube. Jackie gets the amount of votes the Jets will win the Super Bowl with. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's hard. That's harsh.
Wow,
that's harsh. Harsh.
I wouldn't even go that far.
That kind of hurt a little bit.
That's harsh.
My heart is hurting a little bit with that comment. That was
yes, we know it's the Jets. Come on.
You're talking to royalty over here. Stop yourself.
That really hurt. I need my sister Queens to defend. I need my sister Queens to defend me right now. That comment really hurt.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're sorry about that comment.
No, you don't need to say sorry.
Fernando Flores says, "Who likes the chicken sandwich from Popeyes? I like it. Never.
Now
tried
we're getting into chicken sandwiches.
No,
went from chicken wings to
we
chicken
went from
sandwiches.
the Jets to talking about Popeyes.
I'm talking about chicken.
What?
That's the beauty.
Popeye.
That's the beauty of sports and entertainment now, isn't it? But
Well,
anyway,
The chicken sandwich. I unfortunately, so another fun fact. Well, I don't know if you want to call it fun. I have a number of food allergies, so I
Right.
actually cannot have
Wow.
that sandwich from Popeyes.
Yes.
You're not missing a lot, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my
Thank
opinion, you're not
you.
missing a lot.
That's,
Thank you.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
thing to hear.
That's me.
I also refrain from most fast food as
Oh
oh
well.
my gosh.
And
So-
that's not
so-
just a
so,
pageant diet. That's just a personal choice.
No, I'm with Jackie 100%. I have
Sorry that you're hungry, Rishi, but we can't help your problem. Go get food yourself. Anyway,
Rishi, you are at home, so you can
Yeah, my God, you at
go
home.
get
Make
some
something.
food.
Thank you.
Have one of your taco salads. I also see
What a
here
roast.
chick.
I feel like that was a roast.
it's another thing within our group.
No, I wouldn't. No, that wasn't a roast. I know he's been liking that a
Oh,
lot
okay,
lately,
cool.
so I was
Cool.
actually informing him
Cool.
go get one of your
Yeah,
taco salads because I know he's
exactly.
been enjoying it.
Anyway.
Chick-fil-A, I also see. My brother
Oh my
loves
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Chick-fil-A.
You know,
Chick-fil-A.
here's
Yes.
the thing. I
Loves
try to go to
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A on Sunday, and they're never open.
I will put
They're
out.
never open on
I
Sunday.
want to put out a disclaimer. I was about to go get Chick-fil-A over the weekend,
Yeah.
and I had looked at the nutrition allergen section because I'm allergic to gluten, tomatoes,
Really?
Right, yeah.
dairy, and several other food allergies.
Yeah.
And when I looked upon there, Chick-fil-A actually cooks the majority of their food in 100% refined peanut oil.
Interesting.
So for I am a very large advocate for food allergy awareness
Yeah.
Right.
on top of anti-bullying. So for anybody who is allergic to peanuts, please be careful with that because
yeah.
Chick-fil-A put out a claim that because of how highly refined the peanut oil is, that they don't list it
Yeah.
in their food allergy section because it technically wouldn't create
Right.
too much of a
Right.
reaction. But
Yeah.
peanuts is probably one of the most dangerous food allergies out there. There's a top
yeah.
8 food allergy.
Oh yeah,
list.
peanuts has always been like a
100%.
top
Extremely
danger.
dangerous.
for most-
100%.
I'm
Yeah.
allergic to peanuts as
Yeah.
well. So that I was happy that I just made that discovery
Yeah.
because if I had eaten that,
Oh, yeah.
there's a possibility
Game
I
over.
could have gotten a reaction from this. So for
Yeah.
anybody who's allergic to peanuts, just as a forewarning, I know we're getting very sidetracked from the New York Jets here, but
It's
Very
not-
true.
No, it's
Warning.
fun. This is fun.
because
This
I'm
is
an
fun.
advocate for food allergy awareness. Please be careful when you're eating at Chick-fil-A if you have a
Yes.
peanut allergy, because even though the oil is highly refined, the protein is still present,
Yes.
Very true.
and it
100%.
might be denatured to a certain degree because of the oil being cooked at a high temperature, but still the protein is present. So if you do have a very, very high sensitivity or a very high allergy to peanuts, please be very careful.
No, 100% be careful. I'm with you there. Fernando Flores, Jets Giants in the Super Bowl in 5 years. Yeah, okay. I'll
Hey,
believe
5
your
years.
little fantasy.
Wait. No, to be fair, 5 years a lot can change. So let's
That's true.
let's
That's
not
true.
let's not
You
get
never know. You know what, Fernando? It's certainly wishful thinking. I would love to see the Jets
Yes.
make it to the Super Bowl in 5 years, but unfortunately, like I said, I do believe that the New York Jets are in a transitional phase right now, and I think it would be more realistic to say another 10 years until they're in a
And that's
better
being
10
kind.
years. 10
That's
years.
being kind.
Yes, exactly.
Well, just to be more realistic, because they have virtually a very young team right now.
Yes.
No, you're right. You're right.
So I
You're
think
right.
that they really need to do a lot of work internally.
No,
And
you're
like
right,
I said, I think the
100%.
Johnson family should really visit the decision of selling the organization
Yes.
because I think that gaining new owners will really benefit
100%.
the
100%.
team and help the team
Yeah.
to gain some really outstanding talent and fix the very much hurting offensive line.
No,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. But anyway, though, we're talking about the win-loss game between the Jets here. We said week 1 against the Panthers, Jackie has the Jets winning that game. Neil and I have them taking an L. So Neil and I have them 0-1. Jackie has them 1-0. Week 2, September 19th, another 1 p.m. kickoff against the Patriots, their home opener at MetLife Stadium. Win or loss?
Well, this hurts, but
Oh, a loss.
big loss for
Wow.
the New York Jets.
Okay.
The Jets
Okay.
are going to lose that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's very unfortunate to say, but
Wow.
the Patriots, despite not having Tom Brady as their quarterback, and now we know that Julian Edelman
Retired, yeah.
has retired
For now.
for now.
I'd give it a couple months before he's in Tampa.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Same with Gronk. He's going to pull a Rob
Gronk's already there, yeah.
I firmly agree with that. But despite not having Tom Brady as a quarterback and now with Julian Edelman being semi-retired, we'll say, I think that the Patriots are still going to show up pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Next season. So I do think that they're going to
They got a lot better in the
Plus, they still have Bill Belichick, so you got that covered for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have some few choice words to say about Bill Belichick's coaching abilities, but
my God, okay.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
It just brings it back to Deflategate for me.
Oh. Okay. Yep. I got you. I know exactly where you're going.
I don't think that he's
Spygate
the most.
in 2007.
I don't believe that he's the most honest coach.
Ooh. Wow.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I actually happen to agree with you. That, yeah. I'm with you 100%. But Jackie has them taking an L. Neil. Loss. Yeah.
That looks like the face of a New York Jets loss.
I can tell by your face that's a loss. I'm actually with the both of you on this. I just think that, like you said, the Jets are a young team.
I swear to God, I thought you were about to say when you started talking.
No,
Jimmy, don't do it.
No,
don't be that guy.
No,
please don't be that guy.
The Jets are losing this game. I'm sorry. Cool. Even though Cam Newton is not what he once was, I happen to agree. They're still the better team in my opinion. The Jets are taking an L right there. So
it gets worse.
So far we have them at 0-2. Neil and I, Jackie has them at 1-1.
So
Week
far,
3,
going all according to plan.
Week 3, September 26th, 4:05 kickoff at Denver to take on the Broncos. Win or loss?
This is a little bit of wishful thinking, but I'm going to give them a win. Because, again, like the Carolina Panthers, the Broncos can be a little bit unpredictable.
Drew Lock is their quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Drew Lock is their quarterback.
Sometimes they have these incredible showings. And I remember back playing fantasy football, and I remember putting in at one point, I forget what the team is at this point, but one team winning against the Broncos, and the Broncos ended up beating them. And it was a higher end team, like let's say like a Patriots or a Buccaneers kind of team. And it was, I remember being so shocked and of course very upset because I received one strike and I was one strike away from losing.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh. All right. So you have them getting a win in Denver week 3. Neil? Don't tell me. Loss. Yep, that's a loss.
I would just say at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to put Neil down for losing every single game.
Hold on. There's like 14 more games. It can't possibly be all losses.
I'm sensing a slight.
The Jets did try to go 0-16 and still managed to not do that.
Still didn't do it.
I see Andrew commented, and now Teddy Bridgewater is with them.
Andrew, they got like a minuscule upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Drew Lock is still their quarterback.
Exactly. And for that reason, I'm also giving the Jets a win. I'm giving them a win. I'm giving them the win.
On the road.
Yes.
In Denver.
Yes.
High altitude.
Yes. Because if Drew Lock is starting, I do not trust him.
That's true.
Drew Lock is not a good quarterback.
But if Teddy's playing, again, a former Jet trying to beat his former team.
True.
And we already know
I do see some more comments coming in here on YouTube. David Para.
Jets loss. Rishi, you are a smart man.
Rishi says loss.
You are a smart person.
I just need to give a shout out to Juan David I'm sorry, I can't read this. Celis, thank you so much for jumping in and listening to this episode.
Yes,
I'm trying to keep up with the comments here because I unfortunately can't see my Instagram comments. So I just like to be able to give everybody shout outs.
You are fine, but thank you so much, Juan. I know you're a big fan of this podcast.
Thank you.
So, yes, we're on week 4. So Jackie and I have the Jets beating the Broncos. Neil has them losing. Week 4 versus the Titans, October 3rd at 1 p.m.
That's the game I'm going to.
Oh.
Yes.
I'll be there for that one.
Jackie, win or loss?
That will be fine, but the Jets are going to lose miserably.
Oh, my God.
Miserably.
Miserably. Okay.
Miserably. Wow. The Titans had an incredible showing.
Okay.
Last year, they had an amazing season.
Yes.
Amazing.
2 years ago, nearly going to the Super Bowl. That would have been
Corey
Davis.
Corey Davis is a Jet now.
Corey Davis going up against his former team, team with the Jets now.
Yes.
And he was one of my fantasy players
There you
a
go.
couple times too.
There
And
you go.
he had a pretty good season. He's one of those people who could be a boom or bust as well, but he had a pretty good season last year. It was
especially if he's a boom or bust this year, definitely because of the fact that he has a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
100%. It'll be interesting.
100%. But you have them losing miserably.
Neil, I have to emphasize that.
Look, at this point, I'm not even going to ask you.
I have them losing, but not miserably.
Okay, fine.
I do have them losing. Yes, I have the Jets losing.
All right.
0-4.
Fine.
Fernando says 7-10 season for the Jets.
That is mad generous.
That might be being generous.
That is pretty generous.
That's
pretty generous.
Remember, we had 17 games, so nobody could go 8-8, unfortunately.
That is
to the sheer dismay of Jason Garrett.
With all that being said, I am with you and Jackie. I also am giving them an L. Not miserably. I think it's going to be closer than people think, but the Jets will lose to the Titans. So Neil has them 0-4.
When is their bye week?
Week 6 is their bye week.
They will lose that as well.
Wow.
They will lose the bye week.
I'm getting a lot of negative comments towards my team.
My goodness.
I live in a household with 2 Jets fans.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I don't even say anything in my household about the Jets. It's my brother and my father that are the ones that are going, yeah, we're not winning this game. They sit down, 1 o'clock kickoff, and after the kickoff, they're already like, yeah, we lost this game. So I'm not even like, I want the Jets to win some game. Don't get me wrong.
That's
especially
true.
if they play the Cowboys like when they did 2 years ago. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
So with that being said, you have them 0-4. Yeah. I think we both have them 1-3 so far.
1-3.
Am I correct?
Yep. You both
you're 1-3.
You both have 1 win, just different weeks.
Okay.
I thought I said win for a second.
You said for a win against Denver.
Oh, so they're 2. No, she's
2 wins.
She said Carolina W first.
Yeah, that's right.
So if anybody is watching this, can you also keep track on there? Just
please keep track because we're not the
she
best
said, "I really like Neil.
Why are we
not friends? His answers are pretty accurate. Yeah, I'm a pretty accurate person.
Thank you,
Andrew.
Thank you,
Andrew. Do me a favor. Keep track of everybody for us. All right? Thank you, man.
Please, Andrew. Please. Anyway, though, week 5. This is going to be an interesting game because this game is in London.
Oh my God!
This is a London game.
Oh, that's amazing.
9:30.
Yes. I'm so excited about that.
9:30 a.m. Eastern Time kickoff.
Amazing.
Jets. They have the away team.
Who they play?
The home team is the Falcons. Win or loss, Jackie?
Julio Jones.
I feel like I'm being a little too generous with them winning on the road, but again, the Falcons are.
They're both on the road when you think of that.
The Falcons have not been all that strong.
She's not a believer in Matt Ryan. No, Matt Ryan, man.
I'm sorry, dude.
Can't trust him in the clutch.
Out there, but
sorry.
I'm gonna say a win.
You're gonna say a win? Okay.
I like it.
Maybe London will motivate them. Who knows?
Well, Fernando agrees with you. He also has them winning against the Falcons in London.
Thanks, Fernando. I like you.
Am I going to bother asking you, Neil? Loss. Okay. Cancel that out. 0-5 for Neil. Look, I see where this is going here.
Look, I'm
saying 3-2 for me.
This is here's the thing. I'm being very honest. It's not that necessarily the Jets are bad. It's that they're a very young team that has so many new players, a new coaching staff. Everything is new.
Yes.
That it takes time to figure it out. Look at the Giants last year. The Giants went literally the first half of the year without winning a game, and we came
and then they rattled off 5 straight wins.
And we thought that the Jets and Giants were competing as to who was going to go 0-16 last year.
That's true.
And what happened? Second half of the year, like you said, they won 5 games. They were first place in their division, obviously playing in the NFC least, which is a terrible division in its own right, and they nearly won the division with a 6-10 record. So it's 5 weeks. Let's see how it goes from here.
True.
Because there
But,
are some teams.
Would you mind also checking I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I want to make sure to check in on there because I know we're checking on YouTube, but I want to make sure that we're not forgetting our friends on Instagram.
As of right now, there are still no comments on Instagram, but we do have 8 people watching. So thank you to everybody watching on Instagram. Thank you.
Yes, please. If you're interested in football, please contribute.
Yes,
I know this is a pageant Instagram, but let's make it extra fun.
Yes.
And we'll talk
Please
about the
give me
NFL,
some
talk
hot
about the New
takes.
York Jets.
Yes.
I want hot takes here.
I'm actually in agreement with Jackie. I'm actually going to give them a win. I think the Falcons are a dumpster fire. I'm sorry.
A dumpster?
Yes.
What?
Yes. You heard me. A dumpster fire. Look, they're going to lose Julio Jones.
In theory.
I love Matt Ryan, but he's not what he used to be. And look, the head coach is still fairly new. I don't know what he's going to provide. The offensive line's not that great. The defense isn't that great. So, look, I don't trust the Falcons. I'm going to give them a win. So, anybody who's out there, please keep track of our records so far. I know Neil has them 0-5. That's
Mine's
all I
pretty
know.
easy. Mine's pretty easy to keep track of.
Week 6 bye week. They're losing that. No, kidding.
They lost their bye.
Kidding. They can't win or lose. It's a bye week. So week 7.
It's a preview of their bye.
If anybody can lose the bye week, it's the Jets.
Oh my goodness.
Or
0-5 for
the
Neil. We discussed that. Neil also says a loss. Wow, Neil agrees with you.
Who agrees with me?
Rishi.
Oh. Props.
Falcons will give away the lead again.
Another
28-3, Andrew.
I think Rishi's just trying to say anything that's against me.
That's
why he likes what I'm saying. Right.
Exactly.
He likes what I'm
because
saying.
you're speaking against me, so therefore he's like.
Right.
I think I knew where it was going. Week 7, October 24th, 1 p.m. kickoff at Patriots. Win or loss?
Loss.
Wow. Okay. All right. Loss. I'm not even going to bother asking you. You're going 0-6. I know that.
That's what I keep saying.
You're not going to win in New England. You're not going to win.
That's true.
I'm sorry. What was the Jets' record last year against the Patriots?
Didn't they lose all their games?
Yes.
Exactly.
To Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some really close calls.
Yes.
The
one that they lost at home on Monday night, they had a shot to win.
And they still didn't do it. By the way, with Joe Flacco as their quarterback.
Excuse me, you will pronounce him as Jet Flacco?
He's not with the Jets anymore.
But he was Jet Flacco.
He's with the Eagles.
So the one thing that I found that was very upsetting in the Jets season last year is that they had, I can think of at least 3 games where they had such close calls that the win was within their
game
fingertips.
Against the Raiders.
It was so sad.
Against the Raiders.
I'm pretty sure I cried.
I'm
pretty sure I cried. I was
absolutely
heartbroken.
Oh my gosh.
And it's even more upsetting to say that as a Jets fan, there isn't one instance where for the fantasy football that I chose them to win.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I see what you did there. But anyway, so you have them losing at Patriots week 7. So does Neil. I'm actually going to give them a win. I'm going to give them a win in New England. Yeah.
A lot of generosity
in New England.
Yes.
With fans, mind you.
Yes. You heard me. I'm giving them a win. I'm giving them a fair fight here. I get it. They're a young team, but they're not losing both games to the Patriots this year. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
They haven't been doing that for several years?
Not this year. Sorry. It ain't happening. They're winning this game.
I'm feeling like a wave of generosity, like in the middle of this right now. So much generosity.
All right. Week 8 on Halloween, 1 p.m. kickoff. Home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Win or loss?
Bengals, they're a fairly strong team.
Joe Burrow.
He's going to be a stud.
No, he's going to die because he doesn't have an offensive line.
He's a pretty strong, but I would say because it's on their home turf, I'm going to give them a win.
Okay, all right, a win against the Bengals.
That's a terrible W. I was kind of doing more like a goalpost kind of look. So W.
Andrew says if Burrow is healthy, it's a loss. Well, that's understandable. Fernando says easy win for the Jets. Okay. I'm not going to bother asking you.
Well, actually, can I say something?
Go ahead.
I'm going to make a shocking revelation.
You're going to give them a win?
Despite all adversity, despite all negativity, I still have the Jets losing that game.
Oh my god!
Again, let's just go.
I hate you so much.
17.
Look,
Here's
the only way the Jets win that game. They have to win it ugly, and Joe Burrow is going to, metaphorically speaking, die because he doesn't have an offensive line.
So you think that the Bengals should have several injuries for their?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying like several players need to be
this is what I'm
injured in
saying.
order for the
Their defense needs to win that game.
Yes.
That is a game
No,
that their
you're right.
defense has to win.
You're right about
That's
that.
not a game that their offense can win.
Right.
That's a game that now, if their offense puts up 30 points, I mean, the chances of them losing is pretty slim. But then again, they can give up a lot of points.
There you go.
But what I'm saying is that if you don't have a good offensive line, I don't care who you are. You're not good.
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
No, you're right.
That's why the Giants beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl.
Right. No, you're right. So 0-8 for Neil, and I'm actually in agreement with
Am I the only
you.
one?
I'm gonna give them the win.
Does
against the
anybody happen
Bengals.
to know what my score is? I apologize. I am not keeping.
Yes.
Andrew.
Somebody
Andrew.
please
Because I am
keep track of
focusing on
this.
being
I think
interviewed,
Andrew's got
but-
it. Andrew, what is the score? Please.
He said that you're 0-8.
Oh,
Fernando-
obviously, I'm 0-8. Not
Fernando-
me.
Fernando
I don't
Flores-
care what I am.
Fernando Flores taking shots at you.
Yeah, he says screw Neil.
Oh.
All right, sit.
Okay, whatever.
All right,
Take-
we're going to be careful with our words.
Taking shots
at
my
Fashion
boy,
is
okay,
good.
it's all right.
Fernando,
whatever.
if you read my book, you will understand
Yeah,
why
thank
I'm
you.
this way.
Thank you.
That's all I'm gonna
Exactly.
So, Next
Andrew
one.
also says 2-6. I think you have them 2-6,
2 and
right,
6?
Jackie?
What?
Oh, wait, no, actually, no.
No.
You have
no,
them
she has
four-
like she has a.
I thought I had like 4 wins.
she has
Maybe.
4 wins.
Okay,
That's what I
okay.
So
thought.
it's what? She's 4-4.
Yes,
'Cause
4-4.
it's 8 games, 4-4.
Okay.
It's okay, Andrew. He said, "Sorry, Jackie. Can't.
It's fine.
It's okay."
Anyway, yes.
Andrew, do tally marks
Yes,
on a
please.
piece
I
of
know
Please,
paper.
Neil's
somebody-
is much easier to remember because he's just going to continue to just.
Well, we're only halfway through the
Speak
season, so
negatively
let's
about
see
the
what
Jets.
happens.
You're fine. But anyway, week 9. It's a Thursday night game, November 4th, 8:20 p.m. kickoff at the Colts. This one's easy for me,
Interesting.
but Jackie?
The Colts again
Colts?
are a very unpredictable team, but given the history of Colts versus Jets, I think that the Jets are going to lose this one.
Neil?
So wait, I already forgot. Is this in New York or at the Colts?
It's in Indy.
Oh, definitely
Yeah.
a loss then.
Yeah, I'm in agreement
No, and
there.
like, here's
I'm
the
in
thing.
agreement there.
Do I think that the Jets could win that game? Yeah, because Carson Wentz is not that good. So, but they do have arguably the best offensive line in total in the National Football League.
Yeah,
so, and their
yeah.
defense is no joke.
Absolutely.
So, again, I it's going to be baptism by fire for Zach
Absolutely.
Wilson.
No, but almost dropped that for a minute. I
Oh,
saved.
no.
But I'm in agreement with the two of you. Jets are losing in
All right,
Indy.
here
I'm
we-
sorry. There's no way.
That's
There's
fair.
no way they're winning that
That's
game.
fair.
Yeah.
Week 10, November 14th, 1 p.m. kickoff at home versus the Bills.
Lose.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I'm in agreement. Neil? Yeah, loss. Yep, so
You
we're all in
understand.
agreement they're going to lose to the Bills.
Look, 2 years ago, I would have said, yeah, Jets are going to win that game because at that time, the Bills
Jackie's,
not good. But look at the
Jackie
Bills
is
now.
4-5.
Yes.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
And Neil has them. Let's
Hey,
face it,
Andrew, I
losing
forget.
every
What?
single game.
Andrew, what's my score again?
0-10. 0-10. Week 11, November 21st, 1 p.m. kickoff. Home against the Dolphins.
Oh, Jets are winning that.
Oh, okay.
The,
Okay.
the
That's a
Dolphins
win.
are very, very sad team.
So 5-5
They're
for
just
Jackie.
as sad as the Jets are.
Oh my god! I don't know if I'd say
They
that
won
now.
10 games last year.
That's
and missed
true.
The playoffs,
That's
so,
true.
yeah.
They almost made the playoffs last
Yeah,
year. So
I do
We got Tua.
understand that, but look at the losses that they had. Those really foolish losses.
You're
I mean,
all
they
right.
did
You're all
almost
right.
go 0-16 themselves 2 years ago. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
foolish
yeah.
losses. So
Monday Night Miracle, anybody?
I'm being very confident in saying that,
that
like,
is true.
despite the Dolphins having a great season last year, I'm very confident that the Jets will beat
So
them.
Jackie, you have them 5-6. Congratulations there, Neil. Loss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
loss.
tough one, but
loss.
yeah, I mean,
0-11. 0-11.
Look, do I trust Tua 100%?
Oh no,
No.
absolutely
But
not. No.
here's the thing. If they still had Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, it would definitely
Oh
be
my
a Dolphins
God.
win.
Well, Fitzpatrick's with
Say.
Washington now, so.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the Giants to play.
Oh my
We're the
God.
Washington football team.
Oh my gosh. the team without a name. But anyway.
That's a name. What you mean? It's the Washington team of football. Oh, that's better. The Washington team of football.
Oh my God.
All right.
But I'm actually giving them the win.
Nice.
I think they're going to beat the Dolphins. Consider it's a 1 p.m. kickoff. Yes.
Do they have like one night game basically? Is that Sunday night?
So far, the Thursday night game's the only one they haven't.
Yeah, worst day to watch football.
We have a few more weeks left.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we're
6 weeks.
Yep. But I'm giving them a win against the Dolphins week 11 at home. Week 12, the 28th of November, another 1 p.m. kickoff at the Texans.
Jets
Lost.
are losing this.
What? No way.
I think so.
Oh, come on.
I think so. Yes.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding
because,
me?
Again, the Texans can be unpredictable, but when
Especially
the Texans win, they
Especially
win. When the Texans win, they win brutally.
Yeah.
Depending on the team.
Right.
And when it comes to the New York Jets, and they're given not so great history.
Cover 0.
The Texans, I'm very confident that they are going to win and win by a lot.
Neil?
Well, a lot of it depends on what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Is he going to play? Is he going to be even on the Texans?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of stuff he's got to take care of.
True.
I think the Jets will win that game.
1-12. It's a miracle. He has them winning.
Because
it's
honestly, are the Texans that good? They trained everybody.
No,
they have a new coach
they're
themselves. And even if Deshaun Watson is there, who does he have to throw the football to?
Nobody.
That's
Nobody.
my point.
No, you're right. You're right.
So the Jets,
right.
Despite being a young, inexperienced team, they are not as bad as the Houston Texans.
True.
So
true.
There.
1-11. He has them winning, and that's an easy W for me. Easy win. They're beating the Texans.
It's not going to be an easy win.
So that's funny that I'm the only one that's not so confident in them.
I don't think Peggy and I have agreed on one game.
No, I don't think we have.
No,
you haven't. I picked a win, and she still goes, "No,
you haven't."
It's okay. I still love you anyway.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh my goodness. Week 13, December 5th, another 1 p.m. kickoff. Home versus the Eagles.
I believe they'll lose this one.
Oh my God. Against that Eagles team?
Is it in Philly?
They're a dumpster fire.
I know they are, but they're a little bit less of a dumpster fire. I know it's not the most appropriate way to verbalize it.
It's at MetLife.
Within pageantry, but
yep.
I know, again, not the best way to verbalize it within pageantry terms, but I would say that the Eagles are a little bit less of a dumpster fire than the New York Jets.
I'm not so sure about that
because
one.
I mean, at least they won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years.
We're putting the cart before the horse because of the Jets drafting Zach Wilson. I think that's the thing. I think some people are putting the cart before the horse a little bit because, again, and especially for the people who and again, I'm not trying to discredit anybody, but you really have to know the game of football well to know that a team winning versus losing does not rest on the quarterback's back.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely.
It's the offensive line.
You're right.
And until we gain a stronger offensive line, my answers are not going to be the most confident.
All right. That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Neil?
Win.
Yep, I'm in agreement.
Eagles, look,
I wish we were writing this all down.
Here's the thing. The Jets actually went out and got good players during the offseason and in the draft.
True.
Other than Devontae Smith, what did the Eagles do?
Absolutely nothing.
Who is their quarterback? Is it Jalen Hurts, or are you seriously going to put in Joe Flacco?
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive line is old and diminishing. They built their team for 1 year and they won the Super Bowl.
True.
And yes, as a Giants fan, nothing would make me happier than to see the Eagles lose as many games as possible.
Yes.
So, yes, give me the Jets, especially because they're at home. Give me the Jets to win.
Exactly. Thank you. And I'm in agreement with you.
Andrew made a funny comment. Neil broke the streak.
Yeah.
Not only did I break it, I have back-to-back wins. Understand?
That's hysterical. I love that.
No, you got a point.
So I'm at what? 2-11.
2-11.
Sweet.
So week 14, I'm in agreement with you, but I win against the Eagles. They're just an absolute mess. Week 14, December 12th, 1 p.m. home against the Saints.
Absolute loss. Absolute loss.
I'm actually in agreement. I know Drew Brees is retired, but let's face
Doesn't matter. It does not matter.
The Saints are still the Saints.
It doesn't matter. There are some incredible players on the Saints.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Michael
Alvin
Thomas.
Kamara.
Alvin Kamara.
Taysom Hill.
Yep.
Although I was disappointed because I had Michael Thomas last
Oh.
season. So that was a really
He had a pretty down year.
Anybody else who had Michael Thomas on their fantasy football league team, I share in your sadness and frustration.
There you go. But yeah, I'm in agreement there, Neil. Loss.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
Oh my God.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. That's literally what they're going to do the whole freaking game.
Thank you.
I was waiting for you to finish with some like really creative lyrics about how the Jets were going to be destroyed.
Oh Lord, I don't want to be in that game when the Saints go marching in.
Oh my God.
I don't want to be in that game. No, the Saints are just better. Despite the fact that Drew Brees is no longer playing, the Jets are not better than the Saints.
You're right. Yep, I'm in agreement there.
So give me thank you.
Loss. The Saints are quite literally going to march all over the Jets and beat them senselessly and win the game. The Saints are winning. I'm sorry.
The Saints are going to march all over the Jets.
Well, am I wrong?
No,
am I wrong?
That's your goal.
That's
like your NFL goal. I'm loving it.
Week 15. This is a to be determined start time. I don't know why.
Well, it depends on playoffs.
Well, yeah, that's true. At Dolphins this time. At Dolphins, Week 15.
Tough one, isn't it?
This is really difficult.
This is getting tough. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to say because they're coming off a very discouraging week from the Saints at home, and then they're going on the road. I think they're going to be feeling very unmotivated, so I'm going to give them a loss.
Wow. Oh, my God. Okay. Neil?
I think they'll be, lost on motivation.
Okay.
Yeah,
after dealing with the Saints.
I'm in agreement.
Brian Flores is a good coach. The Dolphins have a really good defense. Yeah. They just had a Jalen Waddle as a wide receiver. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Especially when you're at the end of the year and the Jets are probably just hoping to finish the year.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the season over with.
That's true. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. That is a loss. Week 16, the day after Christmas.
Oh, God.
1 p.m. kickoff.
Why?
Home versus Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars and Tim Tebow.
If Tim Tebow makes the team.
Can we please have a conversation about
that? If he makes the team.
We will real quick after this.
Yes,
but Week 16 versus the Jaguars at MetLife.
And it's at MetLife.
Yes.
I'm going to give them a win.
Okay.
I'm going to give them a win, and it's only because it's the day after Christmas, and I'm not sure how many of the Jets celebrate Christmas because, of course, we have many other holidays such as Hanukkah and Kwanzaa.
True.
However, though, they have home field advantage.
Right.
The day after a huge national holiday. And
in the freezing cold. It's going to be cold. Let's just call it like it is. It's going to be like 15 degrees.
And you have the Jacksonville Jaguars who are used to the warm
weather.
And they're just going to be coming off of celebrating Christmas with their many of them will.
Right.
So I believe that the Jets will win that for that reason. Just given, not so much because of the skills, but given the circumstances.
Right. No, I totally get it. Neil? You're just enjoying yourself over there, aren't you?
I am enjoying
Fun fact, Neil is also a drummer, everybody.
I actually used to play drums back in the day.
So we all, what about that? We actually do have something in common.
There we go.
We're all drummers.
Yeah, but we don't have in common with this game result. The Jets are going to lose to the Jaguars.
They're going to, wow, okay.
And no, Tim Tebow will not be on the team by the time that game happens, in my opinion.
Well, I'm actually in agreement with Jackie. They're gonna beat the Jaguars. I'm sorry. I'm kind
of curious to know how Urban Meyer does as an NFL head coach.
Me too.
The other thing is funny about it is that the team's going to be a lot different by the time we get to that game.
You're right. Week 17. Now we're coming down to the wire here.
Oh yeah, right. There's a week 7.
Playoffs.
January 2nd, 1 p.m. kickoff. Home versus Tom Brady and the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, okay.
Bye, Neil.
Yeah.
Bye, Neil.
If they score 2 touchdowns, it'll be a miracle. actually be a miracle.
Oh, I was gonna wave bye to Neil in his palm tree shorts that completely do not match with your sweatshirt.
Oh my god.
Oh no, that's just how I roll. I don't match. Match is not my strong suit.
I'm sure my sister queens are thrilled with your fashion choices. Fashion is very big in pageantry. So
you're right.
I wear a lot of red and black if that makes people feel better.
There you go. But
black goes with mostly everything except for brown. I have a very strong opinion about that.
Thank you.
Black does not go with brown unless it fits within the same shirt as a pattern.
Or if it's the Cleveland Browns.
Dang, okay.
Or within the Cleveland Browns logo.
It was a compliment.
All right.
Have you seen their alternate uniforms tonight?
Yes. But anyway, but we can all agree that's an automatic loss.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Unless Tom Brady wants to tease Jets fans and be like, no, I'm just gonna give you guys a nice win because why not?
Nah, there's no way.
That's the only team that Tom Brady would never be able to live down.
There's no
losing
chance.
to the Jets.
There's no chance.
I just
Tom
He
Brady
has
winning.
PTSD in his house, just like I just lost the Jets.
I sound so mean, but I would just love to see that happen one time because of us Jets fans everywhere not being big fans of Tom Brady. And I do not wish anything bad upon him. He is like I said, an incredible quarterback, has a wonderful family, like classy guy. But as a Jets fan, it would just be very glorious
I do want to say
a loss.
I do want to be
just
critical.
Once.
Yeah.
Tom Brady,
just once.
Tom Brady needs to lay off.
Yes.
Tom Brady needs to lay off the avocado tequila every now and then.
God.
It's kind of weird. Because nobody else on the planet drinks that other than you.
Exactly.
That's fine. And then you try your TB12. Very weird.
Win against the
very weird.
Okay, I was gonna say Fernando was joking. I was just gonna say
he said it a couple of times. Like, oh, I'm joking.
He has them losing, but he was
just
joking
kidding.
and saying they were gonna win. I was gonna say, jeez. I see what you did there.
All right,
Fernando. All right.
Week 18, Jimmy.
Yeah, week 18.
That doesn't happen.
This is where the regular season ends. January 9th, another 1 p.m. start at Buffalo.
Lose.
Yeah. I'm in agreement. Loss. Neil? Yeah, loss. Okay, so somebody tell the final records for us, please. Andrew,
well, I know what
or somebody.
Is. I'm 2-15.
Yeah, you have them going 2-15.
I think we need to like pay Andrew or something for keeping up with our scores.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andrew's a good guy, man.
Yes, he is.
Andrew's
absolutely. He's a good guy.
Fernando's saying win.
What?
Against the Bills.
Well,
in Buffalo.
Hold on. To be fair, the Bills may have already clinched the
Oh, no, that was Fernando. Did I say Andrew? I meant Fernando. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
The Jets.
I'm sorry about that. I can't read.
Fernando.
Said win against the Bills.
All good.
Fernando, would you mind sharing in your comment why you think that the Jets are going to win against the Bills in the last game of the season?
Yeah, we're very curious.
I'm very curious to know
No
what you're
need
thinking.
to pay. I'm doing this for fun.
Oh, you're so sweet. He's so nice.
There you go.
I need to meet you in person
sometime.
Right. He seemed like such a joy.
Andrew, checks in the mail.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it.
Yes, checks in the mail.
We wrote it out even before the episode, so we just knew.
We knew it was going to come through.
So while Andrew's getting our records out, to quickly kind of wrap up the conversation, because unfortunately our time is coming to a close, and I really hate that, but because this is so much fun.
Yes.
You brought up Tim Tebow earlier. Let's discuss that a little bit, shall we? So, for those who've been living under a rock the past couple of weeks, Tim Tebow has been trying out with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He officially signed a contract recently. Now, we don't know if he's going to make the team, but he has signed a contract to join Urban Meyer and the Jaguars. I really don't know how to take this. I mean, look, the man is in his mid-30s. He hasn't played in the NFL since 2015, in the preseason, mind you. Okay?
He hasn't played an NFL game in nearly a decade.
Yeah, since 2012. And by the way, what team was he on in 2012?
I think Jackie should answer that question. Don't ask me.
I think that would happen to be your New York Jets. Am I correct on that?
Yes, because I saw him.
A backup quarterback.
I saw him in a preseason game.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
I saw Mark Sanchez.
Oh my
Yo, the Sanchez. Who remembers that? The Sanchez. I saw him play in college.
They're only decent quarterbacks since Vinny Testaverde. Okay.
Oh, Testaverde. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Original Jets fans would know.
Exactly.
OG Jets fans would know.
And same with Joe Namath, because they actually won them a Super Bowl. But I digress.
Yes. My mom, fun fact, my mom won a contest that Joe Namath put out where he the prize was a mini Jets helmet with his
very
signature on
cool.
it. Yes,
Very
we have
cool.
that in our house.
Yeah,
Really
Joe-
cool.
Joe really named it.
Yeah, so he's interacted with both my mom and I on
Yeah.
social media a little bit. I admire him. I think he's such an awesome person, such
He
a
is.
genuine, classy.
And he's the most
character.
optimistic Jets fan. Like, they
Yes.
could be totally bad, and he's still like, it's okay. We have a bright future.
Oh my
I would
God.
say
It's like Joe.
it's him versus Fireman Ed. If
Oh my
anybody
God.
is
Fireman
a Jets
Ed,
yes.
if anybody is a Jets fan, you know that Fireman Ed. I've never met him before, but I would love to. I've
Oh,
only
man.
been to 2 actual regular season Jets games
Right.
so far, and then 1 preseason. So
Right.
I haven't had the pleasure.
Yeah,
of
no,
it.
you're right.
Jets.
But anyway, though, just to kind of close the conversation here, unfortunately, again, because this has been so much fun.
This has been
But
great.
give us just your overall thoughts on Tebow being back in the NFL and giving it another shot.
I think that it's so wonderful that he's trying his hand at it, and I think that the biggest reasoning for that is I'm just personally such a big fan of him as a person.
Okay.
I know that many people made fun of him for his relationship with God, for
Right.
his Christianity, and they
Right.
would do the Tebow kneel.
T-Bowing, yep.
Yeah.
And it always made me feel quite upset, to be honest, because he was praying to Jesus, and I think that that's just so wonderful to see an NFL player show his love for God,
I agree.
even though he was in the middle of the spotlight, even though everybody was making fun of him for it. And that just kind of aligned with myself and my values, that you stay true to yourself no matter how many people
Absolutely.
are teasing you.
100%.
And I think that he is very well-rounded as an athlete.
Yes.
He's very talented. You see that he was on the Mets for a little bit playing baseball. I mean,
Yes.
that's incredible. It almost makes me think back to the movie Space Jam
Oh my
with Michael
gosh.
Jordan, where he was on the Chicago Bulls.
And then he goes
Playing
and
basketball?
then he goes to the White Sox minor league
Yes,
affiliate and
like-
plays
Right.
baseball.
And I think I just think that's so amazing. I love seeing athletes try a hand at different sports, because for someone like me, I'm a woman who wears many hats. That
Yes.
I am a drummer, but I love studying sciences. I
Right.
love creating science experiments in the science fair growing up.
Yeah, of course.
And I was very involved in theater and school plays. I also was involved in my school's Olympic night, where I would do running events and also long jumps. And I won silver and bronze medals, never gold, but I won silver and bronze medals for it. So long
Very
story
cool, though.
short,
Very cool.
I really admire seeing people try new things. And I think that that's just so cool of Tim Tebow to do that. And also, too, I don't think that there's enough representation of Christians, of Bible-believing Christians in the NFL. And I really like to see that Tim Tebow is making his way back into there. And,
You're right, yeah.
and fun fact, he is married to a former Miss Universe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm
No,
sorry,
okay.
but Andrew and Rishi are signing off for the night. So, guys, thank you so much
Thank
for
you guys so much
watching.
for tuning in and for your support. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate it.
And-
And if there's any, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
If there's anybody else who is signing off right now, please don't forget to subscribe to my podcast. Once again, it's called 1 in 5: From Bullied to Healed. It's on your favorite music streaming platform. It's on Apple Music. It's on Google Music, I believe.
Google
it's
Podcasts.
Google
Google
Podcasts. I
Podcasts.
always say that wrong. I apologize. Google
Okay.
Podcasts. It's on Spotify as well. You can also just go to anchor.fm and you'll find it
Yes.
on there as
Absolutely.
well. Mhm.
But Andrew and Rishi, thank you so much. And Andrew also says best of luck in everything that you do. So
Thank you. And please follow me on Instagram at Miss Garden State INTL 2021. And you can
There
also
you
find
go.
me on my Facebook page. Just search Miss Garden State International, fully spelled out, 2021.
there you go. And Rishi also says to you, nice talking to you, Neil. He respects you. So
Pleasure.
he also says it was a pleasure watching. So thank you, Rishi.
Thanks, Rishi.
Much love, brother. And Fernando also is signing off. Thank you so much, Fernando.
Thanks, Fernando.
Thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube and also, again, on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in so much.
But I do agree with you with the sense on Tim Tebow. I do like that he's getting another shot. I don't know how he'll do, per se. Let's see what happens, because he's going to tight end, keep in mind. So it's a brand new position for him. So it'll be interesting to see what Trevor Lawrence can do with that. But it's going to be very, very interesting. I am happy he's getting another chance, but in his mid-30s at a new position, I can't really say he'll do great or bad right now. I have to see it on the field in his first game if he makes the team. Right. That's just me. Neil, where do you stand on this?
I don't get it at all, to be honest with you. Tim Tebow was offered the chance to play tight end 8-9 years ago and said no.
That is true.
Look, I get it. He wanted to be a quarterback. He wanted to be taken seriously as a quarterback. Unfortunately, nobody in the NFL tried to actually make him into a quarterback. They didn't. He should not have gone to Denver. He should have gone somewhere where they would have taken. Like if he, I'm being genuinely serious. If he had gone to somewhere like New England with Bill Belichick and actually, was developed correctly, he could have done something.
Yeah.
But he went to a place where you had a first-time head coach in Josh McDaniels, and they were trying to win with a guy that needed time to learn how to develop into a quarterback.
You're right.
Tim Tebow is one of the most remarkable human beings on the planet. This guy does so much for so many people. It's incredible, and I commend him 100%. What I have a problem with is this. There are other guys who are not in the NFL that have spent their entire lives trying so hard to get one shot, and only because Tim Tebow has a connection with Urban Meyer, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, that he automatically got a tryout and then a contract to play tight end. I'm trying to be careful with what I say because I don't want to come off as being really negative. But there's a man by the name of Colin Kaepernick who is still not in the National Football League. Why? Well, you can answer that any way you like because there's different answers to that. But it does beg the question that someone like Tebow gets an opportunity like that, while Colin Kaepernick got a tryout and nobody even thought about offering him a contract, when there are so many teams like the Broncos, for starters, who don't have a good quarterback on their roster.
True.
Tim Tebow, he had that great moment with Denver, won a playoff game, and everything was great. And then the first chance, but look at it, the first chance that they had to get a better quarterback, Peyton Manning, what did they do? They traded him to the Jets. And unfortunately for Tebow, Woody Johnson only got Tebow for publicity reasons. He didn't get him because he wanted Tebow to be the quarterback. And you saw it the way that he was handled. Rex Ryan even went on air and said he didn't want Tebow on the team because of that. But he tried playing baseball. And the Mets, God bless their souls, also kind of brought him in as a publicity stunt because, interestingly enough, what was the highest selling jersey for several years for the Mets? Tim Tebow. And he hadn't even played a game for the Mets. He never even got to the major leagues. And he was a solid player. It wasn't anything great. He's a smart analyst. I've seen him talk college football. He's a very passionate individual. Love him to death for that. Love for what he believes in and how definitive he is. The problem that I have is that Tebow is not a tight end, and he shouldn't, at 32 years of age, be given this much of an opportunity. And you could already tell some Jaguars players are like, really? That's what we're doing? Because you're wondering to yourself, what exactly is he going to bring to the table at his age, playing a position he has never played before? And look, if he proves me wrong, I will give him all the credit in the world. If he goes in and actually does things like he does really well, scores a couple touchdowns, makes plays, great. But if he's there and he does nothing, then we all know then that's just an issue. But I give him credit for that. He's still trying to play something that he loves. And that's the important thing. Because he's 32, but he has a lot of life left to live after football. And I will tell you this, he is going to make a long-lasting impact for the many years after football that he is going to be on this planet. He's already been doing that.
100%.
So, no, I don't agree with this. I don't approve of it. I don't like it because I'm worried that Tebow once again is being put in a position where it's a publicity stunt. Because guess what? What is the highest selling jersey for the Jaguars right now? It's not Trevor Lawrence. It's Tim Tebow. Because Tebow, for all of the things that he's done, and you mentioned the whole Tebowing thing, I get why he did that. That it's great. The problem is that younger people like myself and Jimmy, we took it the wrong way. Everybody made fun of it. How many times did in high school and school? How many times did you see people do that on a daily basis?
Every day.
It was all the time.
No, every day, yeah.
It was all the time. And Tebow took it in stride. He thought it was great. He actually thought it was a good thing. And maybe he just wanted to put a good light on it because he didn't want to come out and criticize people for it. But the whole thing with Tebow is this. If he legitimately makes the team like he earns it, good for him. But if he makes the team knowing that there are other guys, other tight ends that maybe were better than him, then I have a problem with it. That's my thing. There was a guy, horrible story, by the way. There was a guy who went undrafted. Somebody created a fake number, making themselves out as the Atlanta Falcons, offering him a tryout. Well, guess what? This guy goes to Atlanta, halfway across the country, goes to them, and the Falcons go, "What are you talking about?" They show him the email, and they say, "That's a fake email." This guy literally he thought that he had the chance of a lifetime.
Wow.
And he got screwed because somebody decided to be a jerk. Wow. And this guy still doesn't even have an opportunity, and he's looking for just one. And he's one of many that look at the Tebow situation and they get frustrated by it because it's like, well, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. Mm-hmm. Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer was his head coach in Florida.
Right.
And that's the thing that you see here. So God bless you, Tebow. You are a wonderful person, and I'm very happy with all the things you've accomplished. But, I'm telling you, man, you know as well as anybody that the backlash that you are unfortunately getting from this situation. But I hope you earn it. I hope you work hard. I know he's going to work hard.
Right.
He always works hard.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of whatever he does, he works hard to it. He's going to do whatever he can. If he legitimately makes it and he did well doing it, good for him. He deserves to be on the football team.
Right.
If not, I'm sorry. You got to cut him loose. Because if you put him on the team, even though he wasn't that good, that's a bad thing for a team that's trying to change their culture and and everything like that. So that's all. I don't mean to be negative like that. That's just how I feel about the whole situation.
No, I
like Tebow the person. He's just not the world's greatest football player.
And that's totally understandable. And it's not that you're being negative, it's that you're saying your opinion. You have every right to your opinion.
I'm looking at it from a football perspective, not a human perspective, because Tebow is an incredible human being.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, I mean, I can't really argue with what you're saying. You do make fair points. I'm worried about it too. Mm-hmm. I am. Because if this is a publicity stunt, then all this was basically for nothing.
Shame on the Jaguars.
For nothing. And shame on them for getting him there in the first place.
Tebow isn't there to make money off of his image or a publicity. He's doing it because he wants to play.
Right, and he wants to win.
And if the ownership and coaches are like, we're only bringing him in because we're selling merchandise and we're just going to cut him.
That's wrong.
Then you are disgusting. I'm sorry, excuse me. You are a disgusting human being for doing that. You are better than that.
You're
and that is ridiculous.
No, you're right.
But it wouldn't be the first time because I've seen it plenty of times. It wouldn't be the first time. But I wish him the best. I hope he succeeds. And if he wins it fair and square, good for him.
Yes.
If he doesn't win it fair and square, there's going to be more problems that come with it. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting situation. Look, I want him to succeed too. But I just really hope and pray to God this is not another publicity stuff because he does not deserve this whatsoever. He's too good of a human being to have something like this happen again.
Again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, again. Absolutely.
For the third time in his career.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But anyway, though, unfortunately, that will have to wrap it up for this very fun, entertaining, and inspiring conversation with Miss Garden State International, our dear friend Jackie DiPasquale. Are there any final words that you want to say to your 1-in-5ers who might be listening or watching this right now?
Yes. First things first, I apologize for forgetting to mention this earlier when I did show my Human Being Mankind shirt. I actually did bring a couple more for me, or for my 1 in 5ers to look at. So just in case if you are all curious about some of the different looks, and this is obviously for women, there's this really cool racerback tank top here.
Cool.
I'm sorry, it's kind of hard for me to hold up a little bit.
Very cute.
And then it's kind of like cut out down the sides here. So this is, yeah, and it's very nice. It's very comfortable, very flowy. All the material in my shirt also is flowy, and then it, the sleeves are kind of tight on my arms. And there's also men's clothing on there. Cool. There's also unisex clothing on there as well.
Nice.
And I also do have a discount code. So Jimmy, when you go to post the podcast, I'll give it to you so you can write it down so that everyone can copy and paste it. And that discount code, I believe you get 15% off your
15%,
order.
yes.
15% off your order. And I do not take any commissions from it. All the commissions that are received from that discount code, I have them being donated straight to Stand for Kind, an anti-bullying nonprofit that I'm a big supporter of.
Beautiful.
Finally, and I apologize that this sweatshirt is a little bit wrinkled, but I love this. This is for girls who love crop tops. I'm personally a big fan. It says it's this mint green cropped sweatshirt. I love it. I think it's just so adorable. You can see the Human Being Mankind logo.
That's pretty cute.
Right there. It's extremely, extremely comfortable. I love this. It's one of my favorites. And they have sportswear as well. So if you're a fan of yoga, they pride upon how much they love yoga at Human Being Mankind.
Wow. Okay.
So if you want to purchase any of their clothing, you can go to humanbeingmankind.com, or you can follow them on Instagram just by typing in Human Being Mankind, no spaces, no underscores. And they also do have a Facebook page. If you just type human space being space and then mankind, I think mankind is either one word or it's a man space kind.
Right. Yeah.
Then you'll be able to find them. I do see another comment just.
It looks like it was Andrew from earlier, but he left.
Another. Oh, okay. It seemed like that something else just popped up. And then lastly, I do want to say to my 1 in 5ers, if any of you are ready to share your story as a victim of bullying and the steps that you're taking to heal, I would love to have you on my podcast, 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed. So if you'd like to be on my podcast, either message me on my Miss Garden State International Instagram or Facebook. So my Instagram, once again, is Miss Garden State INTL 2021. And then my Facebook is Miss Garden State International 2021. Or you can also email me. My email address is listed on my Miss Garden State Instagram, and that's JNDIPASQUALE@gmail.com. That's JNDiPasquale@gmail.com. So you can contact me there, and we can set up a day to record. I would love to hear your story, and no matter what the story is, even if you're nervous to share it, please know that my podcast is a safe space for you. It's a warm, loving, and embracing home for you to share the raw truth of your pain. And I am here to support you in any way that you need it. And I am always advocating for you all. We're in this together. And just remember, we're going to go from bullied to healed. Love you all.
Well said. Well said. Well done. And this was an absolutely fun conversation. Jackie, we really cannot thank you enough for agreeing to come back on and inspire us. More importantly, inspire your 1 in 5ers out there who might be listening right now. But thank you so, so much for doing this, and all the best to you as you prepare for the big Miss International Pageant in Tennessee. Thank you so, so much for coming back.
Absolutely. And thank you guys so much for asking to have me on for the 3rd time. This is my 3rd time on here, folks. I am just so blown away and just so touched. Thank you so much for having me and for believing in me, being in my corner, and also for sharing my story too.
No problem.
And once again, for my pageant followers on Instagram, please, please, please follow the Bottom Line WMCX. I believe that's simply your Instagram name, the Bottom Line WMCX, right?
At Bottom Line WMCX.
Oh,
yes.
at Bottom Line WMCX.
You're
I
good.
apologize.
No, you're good.
And then can you please tell them how to subscribe to your podcast, whether it's on YouTube and on Spotify?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, for those.
Do you sign up?
Yes, you can do that.
Well, for those on Instagram, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, same handle at Bottom Line WMCX. You can also subscribe on Anchor.fm, Apple, Google, Spotify, and also follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It would mean the world to us. We truly appreciate it. And thank you so much to those who have subscribed and are following us already. Thank you so much. And for those who are following us on our page who may not be familiar with Jackie's podcast, please, we encourage you, please go subscribe to her podcast, 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed. It is available worldwide on Anchor.fm, Apple, Google, and Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed and for the Bottom Line podcast. Just include my name, Jimmy, when searching for this podcast. But on that note, that will wrap it up for this exclusive live stream of the Bottom Line podcast featuring our dear friend, Jackie DiPasquale, a.k.a. Miss Garden State International 2021. Again, Jackie, all the best to you in your future endeavors, and best of luck to you at Miss International in Tennessee. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you, guys. I love you both so much. Thank you again. I really appreciate your support.
Of course. And again, you are always welcome back anytime. We can always work something out. We'll welcome you back for a 4th time. Don't worry.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to break the record for being the whatever it is, the most featured guest on.
She's given 1st to 11 a run.
I was literally just gonna say 1st to 11 might want to have a word with you about that, but anyway, no, all joking aside, you're always welcome back. Just like with any one of our friends, you're always welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Of course, you know we love you. She is Miss Garden State International 2021, Jackie DiPasquale. Please follow her on her journey on Instagram at Miss Garden State INTL 2021, and go subscribe to her podcast 1 in 5 from Bullied to Healed, anywhere you listen to podcasts. For Nouveau Piano and for Jackie DiPasquale, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line podcast. This has been a live exclusive. We will see you in the next episode. Peace and take care.